G'day legends and welcome back to episode 2, part 3 and 4 with Bridget from Red Dirt Diary. The first episode went absolutely amazing. Thanks for everyone's feedback and support on that episode. We're keen to kick it off with another pretty much 2.5 hours of an absolute cracking conversation. So let's get stuck into the second half of this episode with Bridget. This was a 5.5 hour total podcast. Absolutely insane, but let's get into it. And thank you, legends, for everything you support us with. You.
Blokes have a really good thing of you go up to your mate and you call him a fuckhead or cockso or whatever it might be.
You get over it.
And you just have a laugh.
Yeah.
And then you might talk shit behind their back.
Yeah.
But you could turn around and like they know it's all good. Or you get behind their back and behind a closed door and you go, that bloke's the best fucking bloke ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then it's like a full 180.
Yeah.
And I've seen this in person. Girls would go, oh my God, lovely, how you going? Like, this is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Walk away, that girl's a fucking bitch. Like, I see it so often, and you see it at the beach, at different events, and you're like, why? If you don't, like, I respect the hell out of someone that can walk up to me and go, I don't like what you're fucking doing. No worries, mate. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Doesn't affect me that you don't like watching, but at some point you had to have been watching my content to know that, you know, you want to call me that. Hey, you followed your likes. I don't care. Sweet. You're helping boost what I'm trying to do by hating me. And there's people that will do it and then just like be their best friend and then just like, no, this girl's like, you know what I mean?
When I was younger, I can't sit here and say that I've never talked crap about anyone. Like, obviously.
We've all done it.
Yeah, we've all done it. Like, when I was younger, I made my mistakes. But now, I really, really, really wait until if I'm saying something about someone and it's my opinion, it's because I've given it time to get to know them, to form my opinion, and my opinion is that we're not supposed to be friends.
Yeah,
that's just it.
Pretty much.
It's not. There would of course have been times when I was younger where I've where I'm guilty of making the mistake and jumping the gun to conclusions or being influenced by what someone was telling me. Of course, like I was young once, but now like I'm just old. I'm just so much past that, and I'm just like, if I'm just going to give everyone their chance, give everyone their go, and if there's something that happens that like makes my morals go, oh, hold on a minute, nah, not for me.
Yeah.
So
crazy, nice.
yeah, it is crazy, and I just think, but with that, the lesson of the day is don't take that to the internet. Yeah. Don't take that to the internet.
Well, it's the whole story of don't judge a book by its cover.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
I'm guilty of it. I'll look at someone and I'll go, I don't trust this person. I don't like this person. And then you get to meet him, you go, why the fuck weren't we friends a long time ago? Or you realise you go, yeah, my judgment was right, which is very rarely true because it's just the way life is. Yeah. And there's a lot of it out there.
Yeah, yeah. And I just think that, I don't know, it's probably something that I've got to work on. But I just carry this little chip on my shoulder, not for expectation, not to please anybody. It's just on myself.
Yeah.
That I just recognize that I need to drive harder tracks, build such unique things, and grow the brand, and push myself to be able to gain the respect of the general public. And so you should, of course, you shouldn't just get given respect for doing nothing. But I just wonder how many episodes, how many good episodes, how many good business decisions, how many good cars being built do I have to do before, some of the people
validated a bit.
Well, some of the people that just love to tell you how shit you are, go, you know what?
I need to let that go. We both know a person who's very good at that.
Yeah.
That it's very sad, and I don't know if you should say his name, but it's very sad to see.
Let's not give him the airtime.
No, I don't want to.
Yeah.
But someone that I looked at, and especially when I was building my car, and very identical cars, like if you know, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Did awesome trips, did some sick content.
That's the thing I looked up to so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And then to do a full 180, I'm going to say the last 6 months, and try and be a cowboy tuned without owning a cowboy tuned lifestyle or vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Like cowboy tuned, all respect to him. He will jump online. He's putting posts up. He owns it. But he's built a brand off it, which is fucking amazing.
Mm.
This person's taking the piss out of people and talking down on influencers, as you so-called call them, and anyone who's trying to make a life on social media and says, oh, this, whatever it might be,
it's
negative.
Just bottomless scum.
Yeah, it's just shit. But you go on his page and it looks like a really nice professional photography page, and then the stories are just full of shit, bagging on people and screenshotting stuff, taking stuff, not even using their names, putting the wrong names on there and going like, unfollow these people or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, where are you trying to get with that? Because I've seen it before on his page. He will dick ride the fuck out of a brand to support them and go, these are the best, these are the best. As soon as someone else posts something different to him, it's fucking shit on them. It's negative as hell. Like, and I hate it.
Yeah.
And I will not work completely to the side of it. I won't work with a brand that their whole motto is, let's shit on their brand to make ours look better. Let's shit on that thing that person's supporting to make who I'm supporting look better. What are you getting out of it? Because I've watched him and I've watched him grow. I watched him when he went, I think it was like 9,000 followers when I first come across him. He grew up to like 19,000 followers and then just stopped. And when he stopped was when he started attacking, not promoting his lifestyle and everything cool he was doing. It was, let's have a dig at this guy. Let's have a dig at this guy. And it just started diving. So he kept his followers that he had, but he didn't keep growing. I was like, proof's in the pudding. Like, and fuck, cop all the flack you want. I stopped following him. So it's like, it's full of negative shit. You might get one sick photo that happened a year ago. Like, I think the last post he posted was Cape York. That happened well over a year ago, man. Like, stop living on the past. Stop trying to prove something you're not.
Yep. And
put some positivity into the industry that you're a part of that's helped him out. Like, because he does have a nice cut.
I just hate negativity. I just think it's ridiculous. And like, what I can't stand for, this is like taking it to a whole new level, and this is way behind the veil of what anybody knows or even needs to know. But for the sake of what you're saying, we don't like the negativity.
No,
we agree on.
No one does.
However, I would rather. I'm going to shoot myself in the foot because then I know that this is going to come out and they're going to, start doing it again to me. But I would rather them hit me with it because I chose to put myself out on the internet.
Yeah.
And I've developed the skills to be able to try to have thick enough skin. I'm just a human. Like I've made the mistake stupidly before when I was younger. It's not expected,
but you know how to deal with it.
Yeah, like when I was younger, and when I say younger, like when I was first in the space, I went live. I went live a few times, having conversations with people, and people were saying, "How do you let the negativity not get to you?" And I'm going to be honest, like I wasn't 100% truthful, and I was like, "Oh no, it doesn't. I'm just like water off a duck's back. Like I'm just all happy-go-lucky." And then I'm thinking to myself, "What?" I went home and cried about what someone had sent to me. Yeah. Like, so the fact is that it does have the potential to get to me. However, I'm really working on trying to be as strong of a person to handle it. But again, I'm a very morally driven person. I would rather them hit me with it than these two things that I've seen happen. It's not happened in a while, but these two things that have happened that this really can make me weak.
Yeah.
When you attack my followers in the comment section, that I would rather them just DM it to me. Like attack me.
Yeah.
Like
not someone who's
I can
unexpectedly put themselves out there to support you, that they've gone and attacked off. And I mean,
like someone commented, we donated money, well, I donated money to breast cancer awareness, that episode that you came and filmed.
Yeah.
And we made a post about it and wanted to provide the link to if anybody else wanted to give
really
$1.
Which is a good thing. Like,
yeah. And my family, my followers, but they were all commenting and they were like, you know, that's amazing. I've put in $1. Like that was all that we were asking. And somebody in the comment section was really honest and talked about how they had beaten breast cancer.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get sad saying this, but she was sharing her story and she got attacked for sharing her story in my comment section.
Yeah.
And I wish he attacked me. And another one that's one thing that I can't stand, and I feel silly giving it airtime because I don't know if this is going to spike it to happen more.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that by me saying this, people can maybe just hear it and then just go, do you know what? Like, maybe I shouldn't do that. Like, that is actually kind of shit. And another thing is when you send the memes or suicidal style things to my family about me.
Yeah, right.
That is enough.
Yeah.
You know, like there was a meme that was made once upon a time where a cartoon character was being pushed out of a building and I was the cartoon character, and then the bottom it said better off being dead. Jeez. Right? They didn't send that. Oh no, they sent that to me. But they also sent it to my direct family.
Yeah.
I would just rather that you just came for me. Like my parents do not need to see that.
No.
And especially followers do not need to be.
I look at my parents. They understand social media enough. They don't understand at different levels either of what some of us go through. And completely what you're saying is that person that's sending that stuff, and I've seen this before completely off topic, is a person will preach mental health, talk to your mates, it ain't weak to speak. And then 2 weeks later, he's shitting on someone, calling them scum, telling them to kill themselves. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Are you just looking for attention? Are you trying to hurt on someone? Are you okay? And you just go, where's it at?
Yeah, I'd rather them just hit me with it. It'll hurt. Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, it always hurt.
It'll hurt. Like I haven't learnt the skill yet. I'm still a growing human being. But I would rather them do it to me than do it to someone that I know or someone that supports me, because that hurts me harder. And I maybe will have to edit this out because when I hear it back, I don't know. Maybe this is going to make them go, oh, I'll do it more because it works. It gets to her. But if we leave this in, I really just hope
almost need to normalize punching people in the face again.
No,
like, not like that.
Look at me, bro. I'm not a very physical person.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, people jump on a keyboard now and think there is no responsibilities for your actions. And, like, I hate the cancel culture. But people that do that, whether you have a name or not, need to be remembered. And people need to recognize when that person comes through asking for a favor or something good, shut them down. Do not give them that opportunity. Like, I don't want to cancel someone for doing something. But if you're going to ruin someone else's life to try and make yours look better, get the fuck out.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a very harsh and brutal way of saying it. But people need to hear it.
And it's like, well, this is why, like, HR departments and rule books live in the workspace. And then when you do make a mistake at work, you get your first strike. And then when you accumulate 3 strikes, you need to leave or whatever, however it goes. But this way of adjudicating influences by attacking their fans, or like in that case sending it to family, that's just not on.
What if someone did that to your family? What if someone did that to them? They'd be crying to the world. And I've seen it. And like, it happens. And like, one person will be the quickest person to shame someone online for something all over their stories for days on end. And a couple of weeks later, an article comes out about them and they're like, hey guys, please, I'm sensitive. Like, leave me alone. It's just like, come on. The shoe's on both feet here. Like,
yep, for sure.
And it goes both ways. And like, I've been guilty of it myself. I've done it. I've said stuff and then I go, fuck. And it's an ego here. Like, you got to go swallow that one up, deal with it. Yep, I fucked that one up.
Yep, for sure.
Keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I had like the ability to change one thing about the industry, it would be the bullying and maybe just bring some positivity to it.
It's funny you bring that up because, like, in our guest questions for every episode, we ask 4 questions to a guest. what is one thing you change about the industry?
I know what I'll say.
That is still our most popular answer.
I know what I'll say. Yeah. And you know, I have, you know, my gig in the race cars and like all my training for the racing stuff that's going on, and like I know a few people were like, does that mean you're going to stop forward driving? No. I'm just really good at steering a wheel and a few different types of cars. And then even in drifting as well, what the forward driving, what the other automotive industries have, or other sports, I should say, is usually like a referee and a scoring system.
Yeah.
In like, you know, you drive your race car, and then there's the winner, and then there's the second and third and fourth place, right?
Yeah.
And the scale in other sports is of who's the best and who's the least best is usually scaled on performance, driving performance and talent. The forward driving industry, once upon a time, there was 6 stage and all these big forward driving events.
Yeah.
But social media has been the playpen, has been the auditorium of the forward driving, you know, sort of fiesta a little bit. There is no sport. There is no Sunday game where you clock on and then you race, or you compete, and then you find the winners and you find the losers. Seemingly, the way that the scale is determined in who's the best and who's not the best seems to come down to social media following, which to me is like funny and weird.
Yeah.
Like that's how it's been sort of adjudicated a little bit.
I think anyone that's self-aware of that understands the exact same thing as what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure. And even in saying that, like if I was to be put onto the scale of the best female forward drivers, I wouldn't win it. But will I go for it and keep trying to be better and better and better to try to win it? Like I've been driving, like you can't say competitively because we don't compete, but really leaning into it and trying to be competitive in my forward driving for a certain amount of years. You just wait until I hit like 5. You know, like but it won't matter. It won't matter if I end up being the best, because if you're not the most followed, you're not the best. Like it's just silly.
It's weird. Is it Black Mirror? They did an episode on that of social status, and that's how they rate people,
100%.
like Uber ratings.
100%.
But for people, like imagine you walk around with a star rating above your head, and it said like maybe one week you're a 0.1 or like a 1 out of.
And everybody's just people pleasing. Yeah.
And then like you're trying to make everyone feel good, so they'll rate you better, so you can get like a 5-star, so you'll be accepted.
Yeah.
That's exactly where social media is headed to.
Yeah. And everyone's just running around like bloody circus monkeys, just being like, I'm the best. And then I'm here being like, what's it all? So like, maybe I do it to myself. But I just think it might not be happening now. But my best bet is that YouTube will be the place that people go to see real shit, real stuff, real story. And I just want to make sure that I'm already there when it gets there, because I genuinely believe that it's going there. And I know that you'll get to that question at the end, and then you'll be like, what would you change? You know, I'm the same as everybody else you've had sitting in this chair. Yeah, for sure.
And it's to see a better, more helpful, happier community without the bullshit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and it's like, it's sort of like so naive, or that talking so much about the negativity that we're trying to bring in the positivity, but you can't have one without the other. Like, if everyone was perfect, there would be no perfect. And without making an example of someone being that negativity, it shines light on what actually is positive and someone who is doing good things.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's hard.
Absolutely. What's the next thing? I want to segue.
We've been rambling.
We've been rambling. Hit me with your next question. Surely we're in episode 2 by now.
Oh, I think so. We're bloody 3 hours in.
Yeah, surely we're in episode 2. So start spitfiring to me what you got here.
Look,
because you're so hungover, bro.
Oh,
I came here fresh. I came here fresh, ready, and you're like, Bridget, I went out last night. Also, you texted me a photo of you out, and I was like, don't do that, bro. Don't show me how good your night is.
That was cruel.
That was supposed to be followed up with, this is the address, this is where we are, come drunk. Like, and then you were just like, this is what I'm doing. I was like, shut up. Like, I don't want to know how good your night is.
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny. Okay, hit me.
I'm trying to figure out what we've actually already gone through and what we haven't. I do sort of going off what we've done, I want to talk about like the girls.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh God, let's just lay out the tea.
Because it follows up with what we were just talking about.
It does. It actually does. So what's your question?
How are you not a big leader in that community? And why are you not a part or an ambassador for that community? Does that make sense?
It does.
To where I'm going with it?
It definitely makes sense. And I feel like some people have noticed and then gone, oh yeah, Bridget, like how come you don't like get involved in that? Because that's like right up your alley.
Yeah.
And then, but seemingly no one's noticed. Like the majority just hasn't noticed. And I feel like so many people are going to listen to this and then go, yeah, actually, what did happen? Like what is that? I once was, but pre-YouTube, pre everything. When I just had Instagram and I had like 500 followers and my original full drive and whatever, like nothing to do with the industry. I was just consuming YouTube content and that was it. I was followed by them and so I looked into it and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. They do these events. Like this is going to be a mint way for me to make friends and whatever. Yeah. And they started showing my photos of my old car and whatever. And it was all gravy and whatnot. I never went to an event. Just I used to work weekends and stuff like that. So I never went to an event, but I was followed by the page and I was in a little Facebook group and whatnot. And flash forward a while, I decided I wanted to be a YouTuber.
Yeah.
And when I started my original YouTube channel, I had Brie on. And I was really excited actually to have Brie on. We just, become friends and whatever. And I, in a nutshell, was pretty much told not to do that.
Yeah, right.
I was confused as well, but I was told not to do that. Some relational thing between Brianna and them, to me, that just sounds ridiculous. Yeah. I was told to not do that, and I didn't really like that. Like I was like, oh no, like I'm making really positive content, like with good women and boys, like like. It's all good. Like, you don't have to explain to me, like, what happens. Like, I don't want to get involved. But, like, I'm going to do this, and I really hope that doesn't cause any turmoil to this faceless person that I never even met. I was just getting messages being like, you're not allowed to do that. It was interesting. And
it's like people get a little grab of power and just keep pushing it like they're the only ones that can control it.
Yeah. So I made my YouTube channel and I had Brie on and I was apparently blacklisted. I was blocked from everything. I don't know. I know why. I don't know what the course of events was for them to be like, if you associate with her, then you're out. And I was like a bit confused and like just carried on with my life. And in the beginning, girls used to say to me like, oh, you should be in the Girls, like, that's like right up your alley. And then I just kind of just like ran my own brand and then built Red Dirt with Brie and like just ran my narrative as hard as I possibly could. And it sounds like we both wanted we want the same things. I don't know if the Girls is operating like it used to. I don't keep up with it. I'm blocked, so like I don't know. I can't check. But what I'm told is that what I put out about like girls get in here and have a go. They're the same. Yeah. So I think people are like, oh, you want the same thing, so like why aren't you involved in it? But I'm just not involved in it because they blocked me because And
there's things that come with that. There's whoever might have been running that is ego. They're threatened by your popularity position and the following you have. Like it does exist.
Yeah.
And I think people that have done a really good job, and saying people, but like pages, groups and communities. It sort of started with like Blokes Advice and the boys, and now you've got who else is really doing it well is Alpha Blokes with their Trendsetter community.
Yep.
The Trendsetter community is a male-female audience, but like the Blokes Advice one, I see it every week, and there is blokes putting their life die-hard story out there, and there is nearly never a negative comment from a bloke.
Great. That's so good.
And if there is, they are gone straight away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they pride themselves, those blokes, on having good interactions, having a vulnerable, safe space for blokes to go to that not many blokes open up the way some people do in those sites. And you see it in there. You can jump in there and, there is people having a laugh and the jokes and everything in there, but it's part of the group. Like, that going into the group. Like, if a bloke doesn't post a photo of something, they go, where's your fucking photo of this? And, they just, it is a good community where blokes just, I read through some of those comments and go, holy fuck, will not relate to me at all. I go, fuck, these guys are helping someone.
Yeah, they're doing
Same
good.
with the Trendsetter group that Alpha Blokes are pushing. Like, their whole community with podcasting is massive in Australia now. And they're just pushing, have a laugh, mental health, everything like that is, it's giving a space for everyone to go to and release what they're thinking, if they've got an idea, a thought, an opinion, what their struggles are, and people are helping them. And if you aren't helping, they've called them out on their podcast before. They're like, this dickhead jumped in that group chat and started attacking people. Fuck off. And it's amazing to see people that will stand up for that shit. And not enough people do it either. And I've heard it before from the girls groups that are like that. I think it's Girls Advice or something. That the same issues were still happening there, where people were fighting amongst each other in a group that's meant to be for bringing girls together. And
absolutely, I think a group that does it real well. If anybody's listening to this and they're like, well, where else can I go? That's a full driving, a meetup, a safe space meetup. And if you are, I'm not that tuned into any boys ones. I think that they're mainly created, from what I can see, for the girls, because we're a minority group. But Off Main is one that has the Bridget green tick of approval all over it. Off Main. I obviously approved to associate with them on the show, which I know promotes them. And I wouldn't do that if I couldn't trust that I wouldn't give my young sister or something to them and know that she's going to be encouraged and safe and appreciated and stuff. So Off Main is a really good one. And
is that something you'd ever do yourself and bring forth a Red Dirt forum, a community page where girls can jump in there and just talk and get to know each other and maybe create a space where girls can meet up to go wheeling together or something? This is just a thought I've had now sitting down. Is that something you would ever try to do, or are you just sort of pushing that through your YouTube?
No, because I believe Off Main is doing it very, 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 very well. I don't think that anybody, after the way that she's doing it, needs to try to do it better or provide a different version, because her version is quite literally flawless.
Have one do it right.
It's educating. It's ticking all the boxes.
And they've got the time and the passion for
her business is structured around bringing lots of people in person and then educating and teaching them what to do and how to do it. So I can't see any flaws in that community. So why would I try to start another one? I only start things that I think that there's a hole and the industry needs and someone's got to do it right. So the question is, YTG existed when I started doing YouTube. So why did I do YouTube? Because they weren't doing it right. Someone needed to be a safe leader. So cringy for me to say that, for the girls to go and have a go. Also, forget the girls for a second. Sorry, girls, but just sit down. There are young guys as well that come in and they are introverted or they don't have that much mechanical experience. And they're to look up to someone that doesn't, no offense to you, this is just stereotyping, but a big 79, some big guy that seems like he knows everything. And then there's just some young dude coming in being like, I'm on a budget, I don't know what I'm doing. It's probably a little bit softer to look into someone like me, because I would seemingly come across more achievable. And so then on top of all of that, I think that Off Main has pretty much executed it amazingly. And lastly, just out of a little bit of respect, Bree's sort of doing that. So I let's let her. and I'm going to focus on my show things.
Yeah.
And she's already obviously run one of those events.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw it, but like,
no, I can't say I did.
Yeah. That's what she's doing.
Yeah.
So like, let's let her do something that can be her own instead of Bridget just coming in and jumping into every business idea that Brie has and then just squashing it and making it her own. Like, that's not really fair.
Yeah.
Like, she wants to do this. I think that she should do this.
She's obviously seen her spot and her space and go,
yeah, she believes there's a space. She's going to have a go.
If I can't make it better than the last, I can add a value that people are going to take away from.
Yep. And she'll probably do it very well, and let's let her. Do I think I can do it well? Of course. Yeah. Is that what I want to structure my business around in doing?
It's also the time.
No.
Everyone that's in this industry is so busy.
Yeah.
And people don't see the time that people are putting behind on computers and off camera and all that sort of stuff. It is a flat out 24/7 industry.
Oh, it is.
It just does not stop.
Breeze explained a little bit to me about what went into organizing that, and it's hard slogging.
Yeah.
And I'm busy. Like, running the platforms and the show and all of the moving parts and the cars and like I said, cars in different places around the country, like, and going to the car shows, like, I'm really flat out. Like, if you don't follow me on social media, you want some proof that what I'm saying and how flat out I am is true, follow me for a day.
Oh, it's just non-stop.
I'm everywhere 10 times over, 1,000 times a day.
Is it fair to say, I think the last 2 to 3 weeks, you've been, like, just from what I know, Sydney and back in like, what, 2 days or something like that, or 3 days, whatever it was?
Yeah, driving,
You've been...
I was in Sydney for like 24 hours.
Yeah, if that. So there you go. Did a video.
Yep.
Then you've come back to the coast. Then you're who knows where else from then. And then you're in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Or you flew to Melbourne. Then you're driving a car doing a trip out, which is another video.
You're watering it down, dude. This is what I did.
But this is like the littlest bits that you just catch from online.
Month. In 1 month and 1 day, I drove the Hilux to Melbourne.
Yeah.
I met up with Sofia Ligueros, the famous TikToker. She wanted to drive the Great Ocean Road and wanted someone to support her in how to do it. Yeah. So that was me. We filmed it and wanted her to do something that she was nervous to do. Obviously, Red Dirt's about getting everybody to feel like that they can.
Yep.
Drove down to Melbourne in the Hilux, drove the Great Ocean Road with Sophia, doubled back, drove the car back to Melbourne, got on an aeroplane, flew to Perth, did the Perth show, performed on stage, got on an aeroplane, flew to Queensland, got straight into the 105, drove the 105 to Weenie Creek out of Sydney, filmed for like 24 hours, drove straight back to Queensland. Somewhere in all of that, I got on another plane and then flew down to Coffs for a drifting event. And then I got on another plane and then I flew down to Melbourne to get back in the car, blindfolded the apprentice and drove her a dangerous amount of hours into the middle of bumfuck nowhere to film an episode with her that I cannot say where it is because it hasn't come out yet.
It looked fucking cool.
My God. The best episode I've ever made. Anyway, we'll get there. And then did that with her, then had to double all the way back to the East Coast, get her on an aeroplane to fly her home because she's still a vet. Yes, she's the apprentice at the show and stuff like that, but like we're not full-time working her yet. And then I drove to Sydney just to see my family for like one night in a month and then drove back to Queensland, went to bed, got up and came straight to this podcast.
Fuck.
That was in a month. It was like 6 flights.
Most
in
people
a month
wouldn't
and a day.
Do that in a year.
Yeah, that's my life.
Right,
and I
crazy.
love it. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But why do I push this hard? Like, why do I want to be releasing multiple episodes? Why do I want to give this much? Why do I want to bother going all the way to the Perth show? Yeah. Why? Because my audience is there and they asked me to. People messaged me and said, we really want to meet you. Can you come? So you best believe I figured it out and I went. And people say they want to see the Great Ocean Road, so I give them that. You know, just if you want to do this job, listen, and then you'll know exactly what content you should go and get. They'll tell you. Read the comments. I know you're not supposed to read the comments. Maybe but read the comment, and you can. And then I just keep giving. But I'm definitely working myself on overdrive. Yeah. But I owe it to the fans.
Can we? It's not in our list. A little while ago, we talked because you had an idea about bringing in like an extra video a week or one video a month where it wasn't branded, it wasn't monetized, it was just Bridget doing Bridget shit.
Yeah.
Whether like, because you've got a big background of like, you're learning or just learnt to kiteboard, like kite surf and all that.
Yeah.
You love snowboarding, all this sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very big gapped content hole that no one, especially in our space, is really doing.
Mm-hmm.
So is there still that spot to pursue that and try it, or it's just everything is so chaotic that you can't?
Nah, so it's chaotic because of this. So what, for everyone listening, what you're describing is again, it hasn't come out yet, but you've sort of put me in a spot where I'll just say it because like, we'll do it for your fans.
Right. So I wasn't meant to bring that up.
Yeah. No. I'll do it for you. Lucky I like you.
Yeah.
So
what I'm saying is people have other hobbies outside of what we're doing.
I said to you that we're having conversation basically that I wanted to make YouTube episodes that weren't monetized. So I was essentially going to go to work for multiple days a month and knowingly not make any money. Spend money but not make any money. But not monetizing my YouTube videos, which just means that you swipe that button when you're uploading it that says that you accept to not make any revenue out of it, even if it gets millions and millions of views. And there are episodes integrated into season 3, and this will be the way that Red Dirt is for the rest of its life now, because now that I've started, I can't kind of stop.
Yeah.
Where there are episodes that come out and you'll be able to tell which ones they are, that Bridget is not making any money at all.
Yeah.
They're costing probably triple the amount to make.
Jeez.
And I do not want to make money back from it. And it's because, again, invest in the show.
Is that a thing of freedom of content or just a freedom
of creative design?
Yeah.
Editing in particular ways, music, the things that we want to go and do. Now, look, the show will always be, like, we've got the touring vehicle, we've got the full driving vehicle, we've got the Weekend Warrior. Like, it will always be cars and off-road, the off-road experience. It always will be. But there are certain types of forward driving and lifestyle content that I just want to throw a lot of money at it and make the best video possible, knowing that I can't cash out from that. So, for example, if you were to go to Cape York, and if you want to go to Cape York and you want to be a YouTuber that just makes some revenue, is that, you abide by all of the YouTube rules and you do all your sponsored box ticking stuff that you need to do and put their logos in it and like try and test the gear and whatever. Or you can go to Cape York, no rules apply. Imagine that. No rules apply. Drive.
I think we really drew the limits on our last Cape York trip.
Perfect example.
It was very borderline to what is nearly acceptable for YouTube and what's not.
Yep. So completely unsponsored.
Yeah.
But that's not me saying I'll do anything that can be taken down because it's dangerous, but completely unsponsored. So filming in sensitive parts of Australia that even just morally to myself, if I've been given special access to go into this part of Australia because of my old career and I know people and some connections, if I'm getting the opportunity to film in these very untouched places, I'd be rude to be making money from it, wouldn't I? Like if the land has been opened up to me by the Indigenous, in that sort of case, or some of the sports, if I wanted to go full driving in Canada, and then go snowboarding, and then go snowboarding with a massive kite strapped to my body, and fly and snowboard and kiteboard on the snow, like, and really push it. I won't be stitching any sponsorship or any monetization or any revenue or any discount codes to those episodes because I want to make the best episode, just true investment that I just make a little documentary style project for me. That I just go, I want to make it with absolutely no rules apply. And the way to do that is walk from the money.
Is there a common ground of saying that that's almost like the Danny Duncan, Whistling Diesel type content? It not the same, but going
the theory.
Fuck you to the big brands, but not saying that to the ones you've already got, but going, there's a way I can do whatever the hell I want, and people are going to watch this content, people are going to love it, and it might bring in a million more views,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to filter off onto the content that is
okay
where it's making that.
So
does that make sense?
So it does make
Yeah.
sense. So if I was ever to make a piece of content that was saying like "fuck you" to a brand, and I wanted to say that, then
I'm not saying like "fuck you" to the brands. I'm saying like I don't want revenue, money, sponsorships on these videos. I just want to make something for myself.
I just want to make something epic that I think that the world will absolutely love.
Yeah.
And to truly be making content from the heart.
Yeah.
Give it everything. And I think a great way to show that you're giving it everything is knowing I'm not going to make any money from this. I'm not going to make any profit. I've actually shut the door on money being able to come in by a moral choice because I just want to focus on everything that this video can get the best out of it and not be determined by how to pay my bills.
Yeah.
Just really go for it. I call them evolution episodes. I think they're going to be great for the health of the brand. I think that you're going to see so much more. My fear is that everybody's going to love them and then they're going to be like, do it more. And then I'm just like spending all my savings in trying to give this like crazy type of YouTube.
Yeah.
But what it does allow is, if hypothetically, if I just happened to have a Cessna 172 aeroplane, okay, as just a random non-accurate fact, okay, but if I just happened to have one in the backyard right now, and I wanted to go and make an episode in it where I fly that plane to the middle of nowhere and then go camping, or fly it to Tassie and then go camping, go on an adventure by the air on a little 2-seater airplane, Bridget's the pilot, right? How am I supposed to be like superior suspension?
Exactly. So it's
no, but adventure is in more forms than just the vehicle, and sometimes epic adventure is stepping incredibly out of your comfort zone, like deep diving in places, or flying by air, or going all the way to the Cape, right? Why? Like one of the benefits. Going all the way to Perth. One of the benefits of going to Perth is because it's an amazing forward driving adventure along the way to go and do it. But what I know, because I have all these fantastic hobbies that I've invested my life into, is that Perth is the second windiest city in the world. So it is like the icon for kiting. And there are islands and places and forward driving beaches that you can get onto just so that you can go kiting, like Exmouth and stuff like that. So it's like, if I wanted to make episodes like that, with all due respect to my beloved sponsors, which I do love and appreciate, it shouldn't be on them for me to be like, I can make this. Again, it's just for the audience. And when the audience loves it and the audience comes in then and they want it more, I'll just keep doing it more. It's just for the health of the brand, I reckon. And also, I'm addicted to content creating. I really do just love telling a story with true meaning and true narrative and true adventure. I just want to go and do that. So take the money off the table for a second. Sometimes in life, you got to make decisions not based off how much money you can get. What do you want? Like if I died tomorrow,
how do you want to live?
If I died tomorrow, I'd be so glad I made that episode. That's
Does it open opportunities for, let's say you're doing a lot of really cool kite content or snowboarding content or something like that, to bring in a second set of brands and monetization, or that's just avoiding that completely and just doing you for you?
Well, I've made the content about what my true biggest love really is, which is touring and forward driving. I love kiting. I love drifting. I love, car racing. I love snowboarding. I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But if I loved it enough to make a career out of it, I would have made a YouTube channel about that. I would have gone and become a professional sports person in that area. These are just hobbies and activities that I believe. There's snow in Australia. So of course, I'm going to throw my snowboard into the back of the car. I'm going to go forward driving at the snow. And I'm just going to be like, even if I just do it on clock off when the cameras aren't rolling anymore, and I just go for a little night snowboard, I can, why not? Or I'll include it in the episode. Who knows? Or if I have the kites in the canopy and the wind is on, why can't I just go for a kite? Like be like, yeah, guys, we're here for lunch, but I just want to go for a quick kite sleigh.
Hey guys, we're going to Fraser Island. We've had a spontaneous decision to throw the kite out.
It can just be like 1 minute of the episode. Or to be honest, the gear is in the car. Like if I'm going near the snow, you best believe I'll be taking my snowboard.
Makes sense.
There's been multitude of times when we've gone and made snow episodes, and when we've clocked off, I've been like, I'm just going to go and use the last hour of daylight and go and have a sleigh. Like like bored, like I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
And if I get so heavily involved into drifting, and everybody's like, bring the drifting into the show, bring the drifting into the show. Red Dirt is a 4-wheel driving and touring channel.
Yeah.
Right? If I can just do those things as extras, like I can do it all. Why not? It just doesn't have to be integrated into the business. But if it is gently integrated into the business, fine. It can't be the business. That's not why I'm here.
Is it a spot where you could fire up your personal YouTube channel again and do that stuff instead?
Yeah, people ask me that one too.
Because then you're running...
Why do you guys keep... Everyone's like, we just want you to make content about all these other things. And I'm just like...
Because I see it too, like, that's what we're trying to do at the moment. Like, we've got the race truck. We've got my ute, which is more like touring, basic four-wheel drive on the road.
Yeah.
Go to Fraser or Cape York, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we do... A lot of our stuff is... One of the best mates, we go out to the dam all the time, especially now it's summer, jump in the boat, go wakeboarding, jet skis, all that sort of stuff that everyone loves to do. But we've got a lot of good mates that are really good on wakeboards as well and all that sort of stuff and their own individual skills. Like, why don't we film that? Post it online. Like, there is way better people doing it. But we're showing a lifestyle that almost people are doing just for fun.
Yeah, and that's the key word here is lifestyle.
Yeah.
So this is the touring episodes. You get this opportunity. Like I've been making touring episodes for fucking ages, and like I do have the jet ski sometimes in tow because I'm going to this mad place and I want the jet ski to be there, or I have had the kites in the back, or I have had the snowboards in the back because I'm going touring down, at Vic High, and I'm like, what if the snow pops, So like, lifestyle episodes are really good for that because if I'm documenting a really heavily snow-based episode, one of the things that you could say to people and being like, this is also a great place to come snowboarding, and gently sprinkle that in. But that's why lifestyle is great. You could call it touring, but if you ask a tourer what's packed in your canopy, everybody's got all sorts of different things.
Oh, it's a wide range of questions.
I've run into people on the beach and they said to me, have you ever seen them? They're these things, mate. They're 300-meter electric, like, winch cables that reel in really fast.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I was on the beach one time. It's in an episode. I was on the beach, and I saw these guys roaring down, just on the shoreline, roaring down on this little skimboard. And I was like, what in the hell is that? And you could hear this, like, sound going for it. So, obviously, just me, beer in hand. What's up, boys? What's going on over here? And I'm like, explain to me what this is. Like, what brand is it? I've never even heard of it. They're like, oh, it's just this 300-meter like electric winch, and we just stand here with the remote and pull our mate in, and it's real quick. And they were like, you want to have a go? And I was like, fucking oath, I want to have a go. And then so I just jumped out there and had to go with these people. But this is the thing. This was bolted to the back of his tray with his short canopy on, bolted to the back of his tray.
Yeah.
And I was like, and you just take this thing around with you? And he was like, yeah, when we hit the beaches and the waves aren't on and it's like a really gentle swell, we just do this sometimes on sunset. You know when the calm sometimes at the end of the day? Or like early in the morning, like the flats? It's like, we just do this. And I was like, that's just touring and lifestyle, isn't it? And then you see people on the Hume Highway in winter coming out of Sydney, and they got the skis and their snowboard on the roof. And I'm like, there's another tourer. Because the question is, what is a four-wheel driver or what is a tourer? The questions become so broad. You could be a nomad. You could be somebody that wants to go caravanning. You could be somebody that builds a winch truck. You could be somebody that built your four-wheel drive like I did originally just because you want to be able to go to the snow. That's what kicked off. So it's like, it's opened up so much, which is great for the industry because there's all these colors. I'm happy to have some of those colors be integrated into Red Dirt, but at the end of the day, what I'm most passionate about is making extreme touring and extreme wheeling. And finally, I just get to go and do that.
It's a crazy perspective to have on it, as you say like that, because it's such a broad
It's like kind of exciting though. Yeah.
And like, because like you're saying, the nomads and everyone like doing all their different parts of like touring and whatever their style is. You've then got the different side of, is it just a group of blokes that are single going out having fun? Is there a family? Is it, there's so many different options to it that people create content. And there's a lot of people doing it really well. Like, we tend to, as a whole, almost like itemize the biggest names of social media as like the ones we're thinking of, like yourself, Built Not Bought, Explore Life, TJ and Mac, Sam Young, Tyler Thompson, Aussie Arvos, like just to name a few. You've got so many big families now coming through with F trucks, Rams, towing massive caravans, traveling Australia with their families, like
Tripping a van. Yeah,
perfect example. Don't get enough attention for what they're doing because they are reaching a complete separate audience that both of us would be. Because if hypothetically, if I had a family and I wanted to travel Australia, who am I going to go watch? I'm not going to go watch some dickhead called Macca travel around Fraser Island with his mates doing rowdy shit. You want to know how's he getting his family around, where are they camping, what are they doing? Like, I've learned a lot of that just, Instagram and YouTube of families that are doing that.
The Mad Rig is another really good one.
Perfect
Shout out
example.
Mitch and Ames, the Mad Rig, great brand, great family.
Ransom off-road or is it lapping the island as well?
Yeah.
So many good people
and
doing
that's the thing, we just don't, you and I, like...
It's not relevant to us.
It's not relevant to us. Not yet, anyway.
Well, we don't have kids, families, anything like that we need that circumstance to have a 30-foot caravan and a big F truck and like it'd be cool.
It's funny, people say to me, are you going to evolve your brand into being something more like Liv and Tom from This Is Living, Performance Tours? Are you going to you bring your partner in and then like one day like Liv and Tom, they'd be fantastic parents. They're going to have kids one day, and I mean I haven't asked, but I can imagine what they'd do. And then like the Mad Rig's done it, Trippin' a Van's done it, and people are like, are you going to do that? And it's funny, no one asks a man this. No one asks a man that. Like, no one went to Maddie Baker and was like, when you have kids one day, you're going to turn it into a Trippin' a Van show.
Yeah.
But it's the question that I find that the girls get asked, like, because they just think that we're really maternal and that's what I really, really, really want to do. Like, I'm holding back having kids because I really do just love making adrenaline-based and stepping out of my comfort zone content. Camping truly in the middle of nowhere where it's stretching out of my comfort zone, where I'm like, I can't get help if I needed it. Like, I got to really own this. Or driving things that I'm like, this is me stepping above my pay grade to see if I've learned a thing or two. And if I were to grow up and get married and have kids, no, I'm not going to just like force shift the brand into something else. I know that that's what you would expect. I just don't think that my love for adrenaline is ever going to stop. I
think a good example of that is look at Mac Preston. He's got the family. He's got the little one. It hasn't changed the content. There's an added style of content, but it hasn't changed what they're doing. And
absolutely.
If anything, for himself, it has made it better. Introducing that. There's a lot of blokes that are his age just getting introduced. Like, our generation is that perfect example of there is no normal anymore. It's not go to high school, get a job, live your life, buy a house, have a family. It's what do you want to do? Yeah,
traditional's a little bit out the door at the moment. Like, it really is 2024. Like, it's crazy when I talk to like young Gen Z people coming out of school. They're like, oh, I want to make money online and whatever. And I'm just like, wow.
How
when
weird is
I
that?
was coming
when
out
we were
of school,
it was like, oh, we're going to, like, my thing was, I'm going to be a builder. That's why I left school early. I was like, I'm going to be a builder, start apprenticeship, all that sort of stuff. When you're in primary school, I'm going to go even back further. They ask you, what are you going to do? I'm going to be a fireman, a policeman, like all these crazy things. No fucking chance I would do that now. Respect to the people that do it. But because we do need all those individual jobs, and some people are just dedicated to that. But you ask a kid now, what do you want to do in life? And they're looking up to these people like Jake Paul, Logan Paul, all these massive names like Mr. Beast. What do you want to do? I want to be a YouTuber. That is a job now. Like, it's crazy.
It's like when I was coming out of year 12, if I said I want to be, and like, I'm not that old, like year 12 wasn't that long ago. But if I was like, I want to be a YouTuber, everybody would have been like, what? But now I've got a cousin. What do you
mean a YouTuber?
I've got a cousin coming out of graduating year 12. She's like, I think I want to be a YouTuber. And her mates are like, mad. And I'm like, what? How has time changed so quickly? That I didn't come out of school very techie. I didn't do media. I didn't edit. I didn't do any of that sort of stuff. I loved making content, but I always kept it. And that's something else. Like, I do this thing. It's like kind of cheesy, but I capture content that like I capture it for no one to see.
Yeah.
And I do these two things. People are going to think this is so weird of me. Well, no, I guess not. It's it's my form of expressing myself. It's like my journaling. But I at certain points in the year, like at big times of change and stuff, I video diary just for myself.
Yeah.
No one sees it. I wouldn't want anyone to see it. My God, if my phone got leaked, bro. But like I video diary just for myself.
Yeah.
Just because then I can. That's just what I do. And also I have this like little Polaroid camera. It's so silly. This little Polaroid camera that spits out Polaroids instantaneously. And I take a photo of one photo of every episode that I create. And then I put the date on it and the episode like name. And then I have a box.
Did you do that at the Springs?
And I put it in at the Springs. I did. Yeah, you just didn't see it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's just private. It's just my little thing. I just take an episode.
Yeah.
I take an episode. I take a Polaroid. And because I just really do like content creating, and it's funny. I didn't feel like I had the opportunity to know that I would have loved it this much when I was young. And do you know who did know? Do you know when I was growing up who always said to me that I should have a job like this, or I should have a job similar to this, or something in the entertainment or whatever? And I always was like, "Shut up, mum."
Yeah.
Always. My mum was like, "You should get into radio. You should do this. You should do that." And I was like, piss off.
Yeah.
What do you know? You're like old and boring, you know? She was like, I promise you. She was like, I know that none of your friends like are doing but I just really think that you'd be good at it.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And I remember when I was like 17 or 18, my mum put me up for a course outside of school, like an extra unit outside of school that my mum was like, I'll just pay for it. I'm just going to pay for it. And it was with, I want to say like Foxtel or Channel 7 or something. But Foxtel, when Foxtel was around, I was a Foxtel kid.
Yeah. I still remember that. Like you get home,
Foxtel.
You've got like, it'd be crazy. You got Simpsons or bloody something crazy on, or MTV or whatever it is. Like,
there was this course with some corporation that anyway. And it was to do media, entertainment, and radio and hosting. It was like you could study a lot of things in this one course, and it would fulfill like an entire unit of my schooling. So I'd be able to drop a unit at school. Yeah. And my mum put me up for it without telling me, because she was like, Bridget will say no, and then tried to like
just sucker you into it.
Yeah, like no, sort of like have it over me one day and be like, oh, we're just going to go to this place, and then we're doing this, and then it'd be too late for me to be able to sort of say no. Yeah. And I remember I was so embarrassed. I was like, how am I going to go to school and tell my mates that my mum has got me up for this? I've got to leave school an hour early, whatever day, to go and study radio. Like, mum, I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And I didn't want to get out of the car.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, take me home. I'm not doing it. And my mum was like, well, I've put you up for it. Like, this is happening. And I was like, piss off, mum. And I didn't go. And I made it. And I bailed. Like, I just didn't do it. Yeah. And fast forward, I go and study. I have my career. COVID comes. My career has to change. I decide to start a YouTube project.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, Mum, I think I want to be a YouTuber. And my mum was like, oh, is that right? Yeah. I fucking told you so, Bridget.
Had to figure it out yourself.
Yeah. She was like, you only had to wait all these years and study all this shit and do all this shit for you to come right back to where I've been telling you since you were like 10, you know? And and it's funny because it wasn't accepted, but I didn't feel like I'd be accepted for doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that it's a different vibe now for younger people coming out of school.
Yeah. It's weird because, like, I mean, I'm pretty much 10 years out of school now. And
are ya?
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for letting me know.
But if you had seen me leave school, no one would have gone, this guy's going to be doing a podcast and on YouTube and promoting himself all over social media. It just wasn't going to be me. I was never that person. And it started off with just build yourself up slowly. Like there wasn't even an intention behind it. It was, I bought my first brand new car, which was a 79. And I just like, I got a set of mirrors. I got a set of floor mats.
Yeah.
I finally got suspension, wheels, tires, tray, and just kept building it. Oh, I got a canopy, a rooftop, and just kept. That ute has been through like 30 different changes. It's ridiculous. Cool. I'm that impulsive that I just do it.
Yeah.
But because I kept doing it and changing it up and doing trips and seeing what I could do, and it just gradually grew. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, after a little while, I was like, I'm going to put my face in there and do a story. Oh, yeah, we're doing this trip to Fraser. Oh, it's going to be sick. We're up at Fraser. Like, just because that is my backyard, basically. And yeah, it just sort of grew and grew and grew. And then we did a few things. Like, the weirdest part was asking someone, can you hold my phone for a second while I take a video or take a photo of me in front of my car? That was the weirdest part.
Yeah.
Then once I got past that awkwardness,
yeah,
it was like, even the boys give me shit now. It's just like, you just love being in front of the camera, don't you? I was like, I just love, it's normal.
I love
cool.
content creating. It's cool. It's just like an expression. It's, when I moved to Queensland, I'm originally from Sydney. Dural, anyone listening from Dural, absolutely. But when I moved from Sydney to Queensland, it was like sort of the start of everything really kicking off. And like it had kicked off before I left Sydney. But when I say that, it sort of became like a thing. And when I go back to Sydney now, and I'm like to my brother or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I've just got to film this thing. Can you just like hold my phone, or can you just like hold the camera? Just like 2 seconds, got to film this thing.
Yeah.
Because they haven't seen the evolvement of me having to be on camera. They watch the show and stuff, but like they haven't seen it in person. When like 2 years later, when I go back and then I'm like, can you just hold this in the film? And then I can just like turn it on and just go for it.
Yeah.
My brothers are like, what the hell? Like, it's so weird to see how far you've come. Yeah. And like also the biggest thing is I can do it in front of the general public. Like, this is no shade on Brie. If anything, I think it's so cute, right?
Yeah.
When we would film stuff together, when like the general public would like be around, she'd be like, oh, we better wait. Whereas I was like, no, let's try to do it in front of them, because like, but I've just come so far that I'm like, I just don't really care. People appreciate it too. They're just like, oh, they're just capturing something, whatever it is. If anything, I was like trying to throw her under the bus, because it was funny watching her struggle in front of trying to do it in front of strangers. But if anything, that sort of stuff is just like good practice, because you're gonna have to do it in front of people one day. Eventually. So yeah.
It's a weird feeling when, you know, like, have you ever known you've been caught out by someone when you're doing it? Like, they're looking at you and you know they haven't said anything to you, you haven't made eye contact, but they're judging you. Like, I've done it before, like in a car park. Who doesn't like lock their car? I'm like, that's a sick photo of my car. I'm gonna take a photo. Someone will be standing there going,
what's he doing?
This idiot on the middle of the road taking a photo of his car. Like, and it'd be like taking a video or anything like that. And I've been caught out a few times where a shed is like right next to that there's a storage yard.
Yeah.
And there'll just be random people walking through there. I'm just filming a video, walking around a yard, and they're like, what is this dickhead doing walking through the middle of a yard holding a phone up to his face?
Yeah,
you just blank it out.
You know,
and then I'll finish recording, I'll look over and I go,
hey. Do you know, TikTokers are really, really, really good at just understanding, I'm just going to have to do it in front of people.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have to, because the moment can be quite quick, and, when you're on the forward driving tracks or out in the middle of nowhere, there's seemingly sometimes no one around.
Yeah.
But TikTokers is just like in the airport in front of people, So it's like, and like spending a lot of time around some of the friends that I have that have become quite big on TikTok. I'm just like, wow, no shame, slay the day. You record that video, babe. Like own it. Yeah, just own it and just do it. And like, people are going to tease you, but also they're going to tease you for anything these days, so who cares?
But it just goes back to that haters. Yeah. And there was what was it? It was ages ago. There was an audio sound that came out all over Instagram. I think I used it for one video. It was like haters having anger towards everyone reaching success. I was like, that's beautiful. I was like,
yep. And that is the internet, isn't it? It wants to build you up. They're so exciting. They're so excited to see someone, like, it builds you up, but it wants to tear you down. It just really does. I've got a question for you, mate.
Right.
Let's flip the role. Can I ask you some questions?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Unless there's something on there that do we need to take a second for you?
No.
Okay.
No, go for it.
Okay. My question I've got for you. What's a funny rumor that you've heard about yourself?
Oh, yeah. I have heard one not too long ago, and it come from someone that I did really care about. We weren't really close friends, but I like sort of looked up to him in a way. And it was like, you're like it come in a way where it wasn't constructive. It was like an attack, and it was like, you've changed, you're too caught up in your head, your ego, everything like that. You're not doing this for fun anymore, and you're just trying to be someone you're not. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that is so far from what, because I'm just trying to be me and be so natural in general. I was like, and I heard it once from that person, and then I started hearing it from more and more people, like, oh, you've just got a big head, you've gone too far. Like, and I was like, yeah, it's a rumor that I've heard that people think, but I'm like, it's not true. Well, I don't believe it's true, but I'm just more comfortable with from where I was to where I am now.
Yeah,
and it just grows with,
Okay, next one.
Weird.
You're on the hot seat now. Next one I've got for you is, do you believe in, what's your thoughts on affiliate links and codes?
It's a tough one because I hate them.
Yeah.
I hate them.
I know you hate them. That's why I want you to talk about it.
So there is places and brands and times where, like, I've got codes out there still that, especially when I was starting off, it really got my foot into work for brand, work forward and move on with it. Like people like Wetsack, Jamie Vogler. I jumped on part of his affiliate program, sold a couple of Wetsacks with him, mate. I don't think I've actually even collected money from him. It's just still sitting there. And it was just like, it wasn't really about the money. It was supporting a brand that I was working with that I loved. Mm-hmm. And like, it's just sort of comes down to that. There's a lot out there still where I've got an affiliate link for that I will not advertise, will not post. But people ask me and they go, do you have an affiliate link for these people or like a discount code? And I go, yeah, it's here. Like, go for it. And there's one other company that I've done and I just said, like, don't even bother sending them out to me. Put them back into a charity or business, whatever it might be. I think it was like $80 1 month. It's like, I'm not too fussed about it. Like, I'd love the money, but it was just, couldn't care. There's been ones recently where I don't post female content on my page.
Do you not?
Not really. Like,
Shocked.
Stories in that.
yeah.
But
I'm
not going to use a female for incentive purposes.
Yep.
Like, and there's one recently I haven't shared posts about it. I haven't shared affiliate links for it. And other people are really good at doing that. Like Sam Wiles at the moment, he's really good at doing it for the calendar and stuff. Not me. I couldn't be interested. Like, all for it if the girls want to go and post them on my car that we've done the photo shoot for and make their money. Sweet. I'm all for it. But affiliate links are tough because I think they give a lot of people that don't have affiliate links a false narrative of how good some of them are and how shit some of them are. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
I have my own set up that if you see me promoting a discount code on an affiliate link, it's not often that I care about the money coming in. It's how much do I care about that company and what can I push people towards a company that I trust. And it's weird because I had one for LJ Fab not too long ago with the podcast. I think we stopped it. I'm not sure what it was, but we didn't want to just keep doing an affiliate link for it. Like, he was getting enough word of mouth anyway. So I was like, it's just easier. He looks after him anyway. But yeah, that's a tough one because I hate affiliate links.
I know. You forget that I personally know you. So I know the questions that are going to make you go, like, fire up. Okay, next question. I got the next question for you. I like this role reversal.
But going off that, I've got a follow-up for you.
Oh, you can save your questions. This is fun. I think people like this. People are like, Bridget, you should interview him.
Let's switch seats.
Yeah, let's switch seats. I'm a good host, mate. I'm a good host. That's what I do for a living. Next question.
Is it Step Brothers movie where they do that and go, how about we interview you?
Is it?
Where they're doing the interviews after they're bloody getting kicked out of home.
I can't remember.
I think I'm thinking of the right movie where they're dressed up in like tuxedos and shit.
Yeah. Okay,
it's something like that. But
next question for you. I think, because you always do all the questions to let me. I've been speaking a lot too, but I think the audience is like, Bridget, let's get him to pull out some of the cobwebs and shit that he thinks.
A lot of people ask all the time, when are we going to hear more just about you?
Yeah, I'm giving it to him, mate. I'm doing it for everyone else. Okay, next question. What's your type of woman?
Fuck.
What's your type?
Is it a looks or personality thing? We're going for
bit of both.
If I was to pick a girl, can
you actually put it down to someone?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay, go on. Then we need to know what your type is. Everyone wants to know, Mr. Quinlivan. Mr. Quinlivan, what is your type of woman? Let's go.
All right. Blonde, shorter than me.
Yep. You're 6'100", by the way.
Yeah.
So that's
which is pretty
going
easy.
to happen. Yep.
Has to have, like, everyone goes like the common things, oh, like beautiful smile, like that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Blonde's like just a weird thing. Like, who doesn't love a blonde girl?
Yep, like Sunshine Coast Beach Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Typical.
It's not so much of, they got a beautiful smile, because every single person's different. All their eyes, all, any sort of features they've got. Does that person have goals, a dream?
Mm-hmm.
Are they working towards something? Is it going to be someone that you're just going to drag around in life? Or is it someone that you're going to be able to work, not so much a separate life, but have different aspirations and go that way in life? Like, if a person's already got their own, like, not in a sense, I don't know if I'd look for someone as an influencer or like a social media person. It's probably naturally going to come that way if it does. But someone that's just caught up doing their own stuff, that's not worried about exactly what I'm doing, that has a lot of trust and honesty.
Yep.
Weird, but yeah.
Oh, got a secret visitor.
Dad. Hello. Hey?
Yeah, we are. Oh, sorry.
Dad's walked in.
Yeah. Hi, Daddy.
Oh, yeah. Probably will soon.
Yeah, we'll be right.
But yeah, so.
Okay. My next
it's a tricky
question.
one, different, but
yeah,
probably not the answer
Is it
everyone
different?
expect.
I'm going to sum it up for you. You pretty much said a blue-eyed, blonde, Sunshine Coast girl that has a bit of drive about her. That is the minimum standards. But no, that suits you to a T. The one thing that you didn't say that I'm actually a bit surprised by is a bit of like a, bit of a country spin about it.
Yeah. Yes
oh my God!
no.
Even your facial reaction just then was just like, no.
It's not something that I look for. Like,
wow, the trucker hat wearing 79 kangaroo bull bar man doesn't want a country girl. But yeah, well, that's right.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
But I think that's also one of those things, like these bloody dogs everywhere. A country girl can like adapt to city. A city girl can sort of learn the ways of country. And I don't consider myself to be either one or the other. But I don't know. It's not.
Open your mindset up a little bit.
Someone's lifestyle doesn't have a huge thing for it.
I'm a city girl.
Yeah.
I'm a city girl from Sydney. It doesn't get any more like Bridget apparently than that. Look at me go.
Yeah.
But I totally hear what you're saying. I totally hear what you're saying. Okay. My next question to you is, what is a red flag of yours?
What is a red flag?
What is a red flag?
Jesus. Like in a partner?
No, of you.
My red flag.
What is a red flag that you're happy to be open and honest enough? I'll do it as well if you want me to. But tell me, not a red flag. What is like a weak point of yours? Like a red flag of yours? Like, actually, let me rephrase the question. Yeah. I'm gonna hit it to you better. This is gonna be easier. This is gonna be easier. Yeah. Okay. What would your best friends say is your best and worst trait? That's my question.
I've got an idea on that. And probably one answering both those questions is, if I'm focused on something and I'm doing something, I'm stuck with it and there's no pulling me out of it. Like,
is that your red flag or your green flag?
No, like a red flag. And it's it's a really good green flag for me personally, because I could happily come down and sit down here. Like, I know right now my phone's blowing up and people are getting their shits at me probably because I'm not answering a group text or something. But if I'm stuck with doing something, like, I'll get home and I just want to sit there. Like, even in my last decent relationship, it's feeling like that.
Sorry,
my last relationship was a few issues where I'd get home from work and just leave me the fuck alone for an hour so I can just relax. It's not like work's stressful or anything like that. I just want to chill and just wind down. And if I don't get that opportunity to, I'm the biggest prick in the universe. Like, I'm angry, I'm moody, everything like that.
It's good that you know that.
You ask my parents, they'd say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay, and your best trait. What your best friends say your best trait is?
I'd like to say I'm loyal as fuck.
Nice. I love that. I love that. That was a good one. Okay, final question. why? Okay, it's a two-part question.
Mm.
Do you go sock, sock, shoe, shoe, or sock, shoe, sock, shoe?
Wait, what?
Do you, when you're getting dressed in the morning, do you go sock, sock, shoe, shoe, or sock, shoe, sock, shoe?
This depends. Because if I'm at home and like I'm in my room, sock, sock, shoe, shoe. Because my shoes aren't normally in my room.
Okay.
If I'm camping, it's sock, shoe, sock, shoe.
Nice. Sock, shoe is my answer.
Because you can't get your feet dirty.
Nah, the dust.
Yeah, exactly.
Dust. The destination in between, it's risk. It's risk.
Yep.
No one wants to put dirty socks.
Yeah.
Why do you wear socks if you're going to get them dirty before you put them into the shoe?
But I'm also shocking for walking around in socks all day in the dirt.
Yuck, bro. Yeah. Actually,
no, but if I've been at work all day and they're like my socks get covered in like sawdust and dirt and everything, they're Yankee. I'll just pull my boots off when I get in the car and I'll get out of the car and I'll walk around at home in the yard, at the shed, everything, just in socks.
Yeah. Okay, I've thought of another question, and a pond question. This one's going to be hard. You're going to have to take a second to think about it, but I really want you to think about it. What is something that people do? This is not about you.
Yeah.
What is something that you recognize that people do or you do, doesn't matter, that they do simply for the cool factor, but it is wildly inconvenient? I'll give you an example. It's a hard question. I'll give you an example. I was just talking to Troy about this yesterday. This is on my mind. Troy goes, and we'll talk. I was telling, I'm gonna. This whole podcast is me just saying shit about myself. But like, this is why I'm a YouTuber, because so little information can come out.
Yeah.
But when I was young, my first four-wheel drive was just really, 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 really old, pretty much bloody vintage. MG convertible sport with mustard leather interior seats. It was really nice, like a collector one. And I thought I was cool as shit. We're going to school in it, right? It was so old that for me to be able to listen to music via the iPod or the phone, I had to put in like a tape. You know, there's like little tape, the little cassette tape things.
Yeah.
And then I had a cord coming out of it. You're probably too young for this. A cord coming out of it that plugged into the phone so that you could play the music. The older generation is listening to this and they're like, keep going, Bridget, right? And that's how you could listen to music in the car, right?
Yeah.
Like even though I'm in my 20s, I'm just really like in tune. I think some stuff from the 80s and music from the 80s, like I'm still about it. So I'm like a really like wise person. So I had this really vintage car, and that's how you listen to the music. It was a convertible.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to enjoy the convertibility of it, right? Yeah. So I used to go to school some mornings with the roof down at like 7 a.m., cold, foggy, frosty morning.
Yeah.
And by the time I got to school, my glasses would have like a little bit of wet on them. It wasn't raining, right? But just because I had to drive it with the roof down. Why? Because it was cool. Was it convenient? Fuck no.
Yeah.
Just did it because it made me feel cool. Can you think of anything that people do or you do that is wildly inconvenient that you just do to be cool?
Fuck.
Can you think of anything?
I don't know, but like I know what you're saying.
You just do it just because of the day and age these days. It's cool for now.
Why am I struggling with this one so much?
Maybe another one, drive a manual.
I don't feel like that's cool though.
Driving a manual it's like a little bit cool, but like wildly inconvenient. You
know what it is?
Go on.
I'm guilty of this myself.
Go on then, tell me.
Really loud, stupid, obnoxious exhaust.
Yeah, to rev it out. Yeah, fair enough.
It sounds sick for the first day, 2 days, week, month. I've had my exhaust. It's loud, obnoxious. My parents will hear me take off from here, do a lap around the block and go back up the hill. They're like, we can still hear you.
Yeah.
I go, there's nothing cool about it.
Yeah. Now that the 105, all my cars have been manual. All of them. Every car I've ever had. Until now, the 105 is an auto. Bro, if you don't tow...
I love an auto. I miss my auto in the Ranger.
If you don't tow, why drive a manual? Like,
exactly.
And they're like, for the off-road to hold the clutch, piss off. Nah.
Auto's so much better off-road.
Auto's so much better.
So much better.
Auto's so much better. So I think drive a manual, people do it because they think it's cool, but it's wildly inconvenient. Auto every day.
Yeah.
Auto every day.
I will say if I was going to take a car, remote, bush mechanics wise, anything like that, where, especially if you're solo, I'd have a manual.
Oh.
To the pure fact of, if you get a flat battery, you're fucked. If
nice.
You can roll start it,
yeah,
anything like that. If something goes wrong, like if you blow one gear in auto transmission, you're screwed.
Yep.
If you blow, say, second gear in your gearbox, you're going to be stuffed, but you might be able to get that 100 Ks out to crawl out.
100%.
That's where I think when you go auto manual.
Yep.
If you're talking 5-10 minutes down the road, if you've got a daily driver, go on auto every day of the week.
Yep.
You're stupid to have a manual. Like, my Ute's the worst bloody thing to drive around the city because it's big, it's a tractor, it's obnoxious. Having a manual is good in its ways, but we're at a point now. Is there a new car that's coming out manual? I don't think so. Well, no, this is 70 series still, the Toyota Land Cruiser.
Oh, yeah.
They're the only ones but they've bought out an auto now.
Yeah.
Which should have happened years ago. But there is pros and losses, like pros and cons to both of them.
Towing, for sure. I feel genuinely safer.
Yeah.
In a manual. But
I think the biggest one is like electric vehicles versus gas vehicles.
Dude, but listen, mate. Okay.
That's a whole one.
TJ's missus had to drive me and my partner to hospital one time. Like legally, but quite quickly. She was in a Tesla. Dude. The things could scare someone.
Oh yeah.
Like, because it's not.
Yeah, mum's got one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she does too.
Yeah.
Because it's not that the power coming on, it's not linear.
Yeah.
Right? It's just off or it's
on.
Everything. Yeah. The G-force that I could get in this seat, I was like, bro, I'm afraid. She was like, I can't even drive it in bloody sports mode because it scares it. I was like, this car is out of control. Yeah. Out of control. But I see the drifting videos. I see the drifting videos online and like the Gymkhana and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In the electric vehicles.
Have you watched the new one?
Is it in the electric vehicle?
Yeah, the Ken Block electric car. So it's part two before he passed away.
Yeah. So like, but it's cool and the movement of the car is cool, but there really is something about the novelty, like the moistness of the sound of an engine running.
Yeah.
Like, and a car on the limit. You know, drifting, limmy bashing, blowback, all of it. When it's in an electric vehicle, it's a toy, it's cool, it's whiny, but nah. Like, it doesn't really just make me go, oh.
Like, it's not, I know exactly what you're saying. Like, I've got a vision in my head right now where I'm looking, I don't know where I've seen this video. It's a car going up a hill on limiter, throwing dirt, soot, everything.
Gangster.
It's sick. And people will watch that going, holy fuck.
I agree.
You see an electrical vehicle do that, you're going to see a lot of dust and no noise. It's just going to be weird.
It's just, but I know it's going that way.
Do we mention the time where you nearly killed me and Sam Young?
When, oh, bro.
Going up that hill, I was like, fucking rush.
Bridget's coming, because I probably tried to drive it. What he's talking about, it's in an episode, Springs episode. And
you don't see me, but you see Sam just go, holy fuck, and just run.
Yeah. I tried it maybe 5 times?
Yeah, something like that. There was just like a rock holding it.
And it was just
bumping that rock step.
Bumping the rock step, but the ground was incredibly shaly and loose and let go. So just to even get the momentum to get up the bump, I couldn't get the car moving.
Yeah.
And it was just roaring and throwing these rocks, but I felt like I was going like a K an hour.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm just going to have to stay in it. Because I didn't even believe that if I get the front wheels up, I'm not sure that I'm carrying enough pace to even get the rear up.
Yeah.
Like I was like, and then I just made a absolute tsunami of dust.
Yeah. A Hail Mary.
Didn't I? And it was out of control. Also, oh my goodness, I copped a lot of heat. And like where it's warranted, look, I guess the internet's not there to be the jury of the influences. But I copped a lot of heat that episode because I wasn't wearing my seatbelt. And I was. But I also there was some tracks where I wasn't anyway. But what had actually happened is, and I didn't even get in the comments and be like, oh, you know, like I think I was like, yeah, sorry. But I didn't even try to explain it. But what actually happened was when we were driving hardcore climb, my car was on such a 30-degree or whatever it was. I needed to get out to have a look at where my wheels were set, like just put my head out the window. And my seatbelt was locked on like any good bloody Toyota car, just locks on because it knows that you're on an angle. So I took my seatbelt off stupidly to get my head out the window, not moving, get my head out the window and have a look at where my wheel placement needs to be and try to ride the wall a little bit. And then I couldn't get my seatbelt back on. And I tried and tried and tried. And in the in-car footage, right, we had it in the bloopers actually of me trying to get my seatbelt back on, but I was like, I can't get it on, whatever, we'll just go. But in the context of the storyline of the episode where you just see me start driving a track and then complete it without an episode on and just climbing and climbing and climbing in the cars, like doing all these things that I understand are dangerous. That is my fault. I shouldn't have taken my seatbelt off. You should only take your seatbelt off if you're ever doing water crossings or in a circumstance where you might need to abort for sure. Like I was wrong. And in that case, yeah, for sure. But I really got it that day. Everybody being like, oh, you know, you're encouraging girls to get out there, but then you're encouraging girls to be unsafe. I was like, oh my God.
But there's completely off topic. There's doing that in a controlled environment. There's, what at the time, probably 6 or 7 of us watching one car in a spot where you couldn't really go anywhere. Like if you were to roll, you're just going to sit against the bank. Like it's, you.
But
if
the
you
audience
roll,
doesn't know that.
I know, and it's hard to say. But
and if on the odd,
put that aim that they're going towards you, going, oh, you're not wearing a seatbelt, blah blah blah. Put that towards the people that are going up Double Island every weekend, hanging out the side of windows in cars with their mates doing donuts, and it ends up in a tragedy.
What is Double Island for everybody that's not from Queensland?
Double Island is a place that's turned into a really shitty place because of shitty actions. And it's just, it's a beach. So it's the same as like...
It's like a beach send. Like if you're from New South Wales, it's like what Redhead used to be.
Road,
it's like,
Beachport, Stockton.
Yeah, it's just the ultimate 4B beach
it's
to
just
go
our
to.
local drive on the tracks beach. Like I'm about 45, 50 minutes from the point of Double Island and about 15 minutes from the barge. Like, so it's my close local, get out on the beach and go for a wheel and watch the sunset, surf, fish, whatever it might be.
That's something that you do on the podcast. I've told you this before.
What?
That
I've
told you this before. Like, so do you have any US listeners?
Yeah, so in the last episode I put it out and because I seen it and it was like, oh, it said 2% US listeners. And I was going, I had a thought. I was like, holy shit, that's right. That same month, it jumped by 1%. I was like, why? Tommy and Matt Baker were over there. Tommy was listening to the potties over there. I was like, it would have registered that he was...
But that's good for your audience growth.
Which is sick.
Yeah.
But I got a message, not yesterday, the day before, from a bloke. He had a weird name. It was like, maybe it was like Gerard or something like that.
That's a great name. Don't discriminate.
No, but it wasn't spelt like that.
Love you, Gerard.
But it wasn't spelt like that.
It
was spelled something weird. And he was like, yeah, we listen to the potties over here. We do like, they call it overland touring and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, sick. And they got Jeeps and everything. I was like, man.
And I said to you that, and like,
but what I found with that, there's people in like UK, and like, do you reckon the people in the UK listening right now know about DI? Shit, no.
Because you call it DI too.
Yeah, DI.
And
not Double Island.
It's Double Island. Everybody in Australia, it is just the ultimate four-wheel driving beach in Queensland. And yeah, you do. You talk about Queensland. What's wrong?
They're gonna fight.
Oh, do they not get along?
No.
Oh, you are the adjudicator.
Hey.
Come here.
Gus. You mentioned that.
I did.
Story,
only like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I was like, no. Mr. Quinn live in must go first. Must go first. But yeah, that's
who is it?
It's called Girls and Gear. It's like it's just a really female. It's what you do, but for the females.
Yeah, right.
And they're cool chicks. I've listened to it. They're cool as. But it's still like at that. They're only like 4 or 5 eps out.
Well, they're going
for it. Yeah, but they seem really nice. So I was like, I'll come to Perth, and they were like, whoa, this Bridget chick's amazing. Because they're like, we could do it by distance. I was like, no, fuck it, I'll come to you. But it's over my Christmas break, so I was like, I don't mind making the effort for everybody, and I really like their vision as I do yours. So I just want to see everybody do well. And if I can help in any way, even if it's tiny, I'll help.
Put a presence there and talk to them. And
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
It's cool seeing, because, like, I mean, everyone's going to go, oh, you copied this person, you copied that person with the podcast. Like, how many people do we know that have either tried or started a podcast that just never stayed with it? Like, I know Maddie Baker had one, that Explore Yarns. Outback Equipment, I think, had one through COVID, which I never even knew about. Someone else told me that.
Ronnie Dahl's on one.
Ronnie Dahl started his, I think we were pretty similar time when we both started ours. And it was like, but at the same time, people go like, oh, this person's go on, this person's go on. They might be doing very similar things at the same time. It's not a thing against Ronnie Dahl, but some people don't want to listen to him. It's not a thing against me that some people don't want to listen to me. You've got your preferences. There is
punch the mic over
that. There's a million people out there running podcasts everywhere.
Yeah.
Some you might like, some you might not.
Yeah.
But
why not?
Yeah.
Also, too, I really like the more the merrier for me, because I do a lot of driving.
Yeah.
I do a lot of driving.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of truck drivers out there, people listening to this right now while driving a car. And it's like, Australia is a big ass country. Yeah. And one podcast never, ever, ever gets you to your final destination. So, like, go for it. Yeah. Absolutely go for it.
I think the crazy thing is, too, like, a lot of people that listen to podcasts are blokes that work in the mines and are sitting on machines for 10 to 12 hours a day, or, like, I've heard people that have workshops and they're like, our whole workshop will listen on a Monday or a Tuesday and we'll just play it for a couple of hours in the morning.
Like, shout out workshops. Yeah, right now.
But it's like, there's so many variations to listen to a podcast that whether you go home and watch it on the couch with your family, if it's appealing you to watch two people sit on the couch, but it's one of those things that's in the background that you can pay attention to while you multitask. That's the best convenience about a podcast.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter where you're doing it.
Absolutely. And I think it's cool because I really like unscripted stuff.
Yeah.
That's why when you were doing this, I was like, dude, that's sick. I was like, anything unscripted, I'll watch it, I'll be on it, I'll consume it, I'll do it. I think it's mad.
Yeah.
I think it's mad. I just really, really like it. If you could be on one reality TV show, I don't like reality TV shows, but if you could be on one reality TV show, what would it be?
Jeez.
Mine's Big Brother. Or actually, no. Let's talk about this. I think for years mine was Big Brother, because I just feel like I'd go in there and I'd kill it. I feel like I really enjoy myself.
I think everyone thought that at some point.
I feel like I really enjoy myself.
When it was, do you remember Big Brother before they changed it to the new side of Big Brother?
Yeah.
The old school one was sick.
When it was relentless.
Yeah.
Yeah, Big Brother for
Friday night games and shit like that. You'd be like, I'd dominate that shit. And I was probably 12 when I was watching it.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you, Big Brother. However, this isn't reality TV, but my opinion's got to change. I just submitted my application to try to be on the show. Never done that before, by the way, people. Actually, I submitted to be on Big Brother.
Yeah.
But I submitted to be on, Sam and I actually did our submissions the other night because we just watched. Have you seen?
Do you know how many people are going to send a submission now trying to get on the show with you?
Bro, let's beep out what the show. Nah, fuck it. Yeah. Have you seen you've seen the Squid Games show, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen the game show Squid Games?
No, I haven't watched it yet. It looks sick.
Dude.
Yeah. Look, I've seen like spoilers for it.
I'd actually pay to go on it. Like, I was like, that is so sick. Screw Big Brother. I want to compete.
Yeah. And
I want to go on that game. That is a gangster game.
Yeah, actually, I've probably got one show where I would.
Yeah, okay. What's yours?
You ever watched Alone?
Alone.
No. They drop you get like 10 items or whatever it is, 10 survival items.
Yes.
And they just drop you in the middle of nowhere and they see if you can go 100 days in the bush surviving on your own.
100 days is a lot.
It's a lot, but I reckon it'd be like doable.
Yeah, it'd be doable.
But some people they put them in spots where they did one in New Zealand, I think. And like people get like 50 days in and they're literally like, they've lost 20 kilos, they're starving. They've like lost all their fishing line or their knife's broken or whatever it might be, and it just breaks them. Like, you don't have a single person to talk to for 100 days.
It would because you would become the experience.
Yeah.
You can't.
It'd be wild.
Yeah, and that's what I really liked about Big Brother because, or any genuine real content that goes for long enough, is that it starts and everybody knows they're on camera. It's like any game. It's like any show. the girls come on, the guys come on, and they're all dressed really nice and they smell good. They got their makeup
on. A funny
on.
one on Netflix, that Too Hot to Handle.
Too Hot to Handle.
Yeah.
They come on, and they arrive and they look good, right? Because they're like, I'm gonna be on television, I'm gonna look so good and me, right? But it doesn't take long before they've been in the experience for way too long.
Yeah.
That the makeup comes off, the shitty girly, hi, my name is Samantha, tone of voice goes away.
Yeah.
And they just start talking and the real comes out. And you're seeing real humans interacting with each other. And that's what I used to really like about Big Brother.
Yeah.
And the Squid Games game, epic.
Yeah.
I have no words for it. That is one that I would absolutely go on. I think you can kind of tell after this point. Anything that's unscripted, I'm like, let it go. Like, let's see what happens.
I've seen one spoiler from it, which made me really want to watch it. I just time. You know, the red light, green light. There's that girl that's like squatted. That was 45 minutes.
Yeah. No. Okay. So wow. I've done some deep dives. I've done some research into it. And to get the shots of everybody, they had to hold their freeze for a really, really, really long time.
Yeah.
45 minutes for this girl. And she was in an uncomfortable position holding the squat. And she just was like, I can't do it. And she gave up and she sat down. Yeah. Do you want to know another thing that I heard about it? Is they played the glass bridge game where they've got to guess.
Yeah.
Do you remember it? Yep. They've got to jump from it left or right and then figure out the sequence on how to get out. And people have to essentially sacrifice themselves to be able to get the rest of the team there. And they show when you step on the glass square, either the left one or the right one, you've got to guess which one. It either stays solid or it breaks and you fall down. And that wasn't actually what was happening. Every time someone would step on the square, they'd either say like, you're on the correct square or you're on the wrong square. Everybody would have to get off. They'd bring stunt doubles on and then the stunt double would fall. Then they'd all get off. They'd get the real people back on and then they would continue playing the game every single time so that the actual game players couldn't get hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah,
well, Mr. Beast did the exact same thing, but he just did it over a huge foam pit.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I reckon that the Squid Games game was actually filmed where the genuine show was filmed. There's no way that got rebuilt.
Yeah, right.
My manager is messaging me right now. She's probably like,
what are you doing?
Yeah, she's just checking on me. See, there's a whole team behind it, Red Dirt.
Yeah, everyone making sure everyone's good.
Just like, if you're still there, it must be going well.
Yeah.
You haven't run away crying. But yeah, no, I think that shows like that where you get to see humans become quite raw. I think that's really sick. Like we put together an episode one time, and Brie was, and this isn't shade on her, I actually thought this was really beautiful and I really liked it. She forgot to lock her hubs and we were driving in the snowy mountains and like it was wet and the mud and it's really slippery and it was really steep. Like we're in the snowy mountains, guys, like it was full on. And
is that the one you filmed with
Matt Baker? Yeah, from Explore Life. So Matt's spotting us, he's in his 79 and he's spotting Brie just coming down just a hill. Like, yeah, there's a bit of a full driving element to it, but to be honest, like if I'm driving it in the Hilux, like it's fine. Yeah. And Brie was just like I can't. Like my reduction gears aren't working. My lockers aren't working. Like this shit's not working. And she was getting really overwhelmed and honestly quite scared. And Matt was spotting her. And he was being patient and understanding. And then I would just come through and he would be like, because I'd be standing there in the spotting situations to make sure that she was safe. And Matt would be like, okay, Bridget, go up and get your car. It's your time to come down. And Matt would be like, you know what to do, right? Like basically do the opposite to what Brie did. Yeah. Don't hold your foot on the brake because you will just start sliding. You'll slide sideways. You will get scared. There's a cliff just here. Like you've got to keep your shit together and let the gearing of the car. And he was like, and I understand that your car doesn't have lockers. It hasn't been re-geared.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not reducted. So you are going to roll quite quickly, but let the gear do its thing. And I was like, yeah, man, whatever. And I just come cruising in and we were all like, what, Brie, like what's going on? And she was like, you guys understand, like the car's just freaking me out.
Yeah.
And then Matt made a silly statement after a lot of downhill driving and was like, silly as in like just a passing statement. Have you locked your hubs?
Yeah.
And everyone went silent and she looked at me and I looked at her.
Yeah.
And she just started crying. So embarrassed. And I give her a hug and I was like, babe, like it's so fine. Like You poor thing. I can only imagine how scared she really was. Think about that now.
Yeah.
Driving down wet, muddy hills with no gear, just
Two-wheel drive.
full blown roll. You know the speed of a roll that you'll pick up on?
Oh, yeah.
And then she would come on the brakes and she'd scare the shit out of herself because she's almost went off the side of the cliff.
Yeah.
And it would have been so sad for her. And that's one of the things, and it comes up in the episode that you had the privilege of watching pre-release of, you know, a repercussion of making real, raw, honest content is that you open yourself up to extreme criticism.
And you both got emotional in that video too.
Yeah, I was sad for her.
Yeah.
I was sad for her because I could tell how embarrassed she was. And I believe, like at that point, I believed, like I just had to look at her and I knew how talented she was.
Yeah.
And I knew how good she was. And I was like, there is no need to cry, you've just made a mistake. And it was making me sad to are you talking about how sad, what are you talking about with sad in that episode?
Sort of both.
Yeah, sort of both. And I felt for her for what she was feeling, because you know what would have been going through that girl's head, and I get it because I had the same job as her, right?
Yeah.
This is going to be aired out all over the internet.
Yeah.
And I'm going to look like a fucking idiot. And when we were editing that and putting that together and communicating about it, I fully understand, and I have never, ever, ever put it on her, and I never would put it on anybody. Somebody that's been open on camera and something like that has happened, something embarrassing, something's broken, you've made a mistake, whatever. It is up to the choice, especially when there's tears involved, it's up to the choice of the person that showed that raw state of, I forgot to lock my hubs and I'm embarrassed about it, how much of that she would want to go into the edit.
Yeah.
I wanted the intensity and the drama and all of that, like what really, really, really went down. I wanted to really have that be the episode because we've got so much content of it.
Yeah.
But understandably, this is somebody's emotional state that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And we refined it to where she would feel most comfortable. And we did say what happened.
Yeah.
We didn't lie about it. But it was
one of those things that was like so dramatic.
And then it was over.
And then it was just like a laughing.
Yeah.
Like, and because it was so relatable because I've done that.
Yeah.
A lot of other people have done that too.
Yeah.
And it comes back to being real.
And that is something that I will not do. When everybody saw me go bungee jumping and I was having a full-blown breakdown, I was like, I'm so afraid, right? Yeah. Or in the episode that comes out very soon after this podcast about when we surprise Nas in that secret place, and watch what that girl went through. I take my hat off. I have so much respect for that young girl. What she went through being completely blind for 2.5 days straight sends you psycho.
Yeah.
And how well she handled herself. And when your eyesight is taken away from you, your other senses go really crazy.
Yeah, directional sense.
So what she was hearing and what she was going through in her head would have been so difficult.
Yeah.
And we captured all of that on camera. And then the moment that she was told where she was and what she was being made to do. Yeah. And we filmed all of it. And obviously, and I love that when we edited it and put it together and we showed it to her and we were like, are you comfortable for all of this? She was like, that's the real story. And I was like, that's how I trained you, bitch. Like, that's how I want you to be thinking. I want you to tell the truth, be the truth, and really lean into it. And I just love episodes like that. Yeah. And it's funny that in the team, I know the team really well and I know my people really well and the guests really well. You know, we've got like Molly Dixon and Tay Jane coming on and stuff like that. Yeah. And like a lot of research and time goes into, you know, what am I going to get them to do that they can sort of step out of their comfort zone and be more of themselves that they don't get to be on their own show, kind of like me on this podcast with you now. Yeah. And the team currently is talking about like, well, hold on a minute. Bridget does a really good job of creating these storyboarded storylines of what she's going to, what adventures and what tracks and what comfort zone she's going to get other people to step out of in the protection of her show and in her moment and in her cars. What could we get Bridget to do? Because no one can do it to me because I'm the boss.
Yeah, true.
And it's funny that the team is like, well, you've got to do it. You've got to do it. So at the moment, the talk that's going on behind the scenes is they're all unpacking and putting down, like, I need to get put out for another true narrative, the true thing. And what's that going to be? And I don't know, because I'm not going to get told. I'm just going to get like an envelope, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it's like, you need to go here and you need to do this. And it's going to scare the shit out of me. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So I just really love that stuff. You can probably tell by my reaction. I just think that shit's just the coolest stuff on earth.
Fuck yeah.
So yes. Anyway, you want to hit me with your fucking ending question? Or?
We got some ending questions. I wanted to go back to one last thing.
Oh, okay.
Which is this one here. Because you brought up to me affiliate links.
Oh.
But you said this to me.
I did that so you could forget, not have to ask me.
No, too bad.
Okay. Okay. Affiliate links.
This will be part of the last little questions. Michael Jordan and affiliate links.
Oh, yeah.
You told me about this, and I had no idea about the past and how it started. And you had a really good way of presenting how everyone just looks at an affiliate link like it's such a normal thing now.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And I love if you haven't seen the Air Jordan movie, watch it and then you'll understand more of what I'm talking about. But I know a lot about Michael Jordan and his career, and he is the face figure of his career. Obviously, he's the performer, but a really important factor of what made Michael Jordan amazing was his mother.
Yeah.
And she had a business perspective behind the scenes that he probably didn't get the opportunity to have because you spend so much time trying to be a great basketball player. And when it came to the point where the shoe Jordans, Air Jordans were being made, and Michael Jordan was going to be the only person that was going to wear them and represent them and make this shoe great.
Yeah.
And Nike broke a lot of rules, interesting rules. In those days, you couldn't wear basketball shoes that had more than they had to be 85% or 90% all white.
Yeah.
And Nike said, fuck the rules.
Yeah.
You get paid $5,000. You get charged a penalty of $5,000 a game if you break the code of the uniform rules.
Yeah.
And Nike said, screw it.
Yeah.
For Michael Jordan, if we can sign Michael Jordan, then we will do what we think is going to make him perform and look his best.
Yeah.
And they made that red shoe. And Michael, he looked at the shoe and he was like, okay, I like this shoe.
Yeah.
I'm keen to wear this shoe. And his mother stepped in and negotiated on his behalf and said that Michael will only wear the shoes if 5% of all proceeds, of all sales price, I don't know, what do you call
it?
Revenue, that's it, that's the word. If 5% of all of the revenue goes to Michael, of every single shoe that he sells, and that had never been done before in history. And Nike was like, no, we're just going to pay you a massive lump sum and you're going to wear the shoe and that's it. And then next year when we re-sign your contract, we'll just pay you another lump sum. And the mum was like, no. You'll pay the lump sum, but you'll also be paying 5% of the proceeds.
Yeah.
And Nike was thrown by that. The concept of that was out of control. And she articulated it and pretty much said something to the effect of, that shoe will be what it's meant to be because the identity and the talent of my son will make it there.
Yeah.
And that shoe can't be a shoe worth buying if it's not because of my son.
Yeah.
So you owe my son 5% of every shoe. And Nike said, okay.
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan has gone on to make billions and billions and billions of dollars.
Crazy money.
Off 5% of that shoe for the rest of his lifetime. And it will go beyond his lifetime.
Yeah.
And the point of that is this, and this is back in the 80s or the 70s, whenever it was. The point of that is this, is if it wasn't for people, or specifically Michael Jordan's mother, affiliate links and influencer opportunities for kickback would not exist today.
Yeah.
They just would not exist today. It was people like that changed the way and said, that's your product and you've designed it and you've done a great job, but you require me to go and make the return on investment incredible.
Yeah.
So I want to be incentivized for whatever I sell, and I will wear it and I will own it and I will make it great.
Yeah.
Right? And I believe that's how we've ended up to the point where affiliate links are absolutely everywhere.
Yeah.
And they've gone into this massive peak of heaps of authentic value.
Yeah.
And brands were like, this is so, so, so good. And then it's hit this peak, and then it went out.
It's overwashed.
It went out of control.
Yeah.
And then what happened was the general public, okay, I'll put it to you like this. The reason why it worked with Michael Jordan is because Michael Jordan was a very highly respected person in his area. And it was once upon a time, to get access to an affiliate link was near impossible.
Yeah.
You needed to be one of the
like
best.
How you look at it as a sponsorship these days. But he was combining both of those in one without ever being doing it.
100%. So to get your hands on an affiliate link now, like not everyone can do it, but kind of anyone can do it.
Pretty easy.
It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy.
Like I get ones handed out once a month from companies that, with a quick search, I can find 30 people doing it that are my best mates. Why do I want to compete with someone who I consider as my best mate? Like, I'm not naming any companies right now, but I don't care that much for, let's just say it's probably a $5, $10 kickback. If you're not unique to what you're doing, it's not special. It's not special. Yeah.
And affiliate links are everywhere. They're being given to anyone, and no one is taking an affiliate link and becoming becoming the brand and doing it and owning it. They're just like, oh, this is the affiliate link this week, and then the next week there'll be another one. Yeah. And the authenticness of it is far, far, far gone. And it's very frustrating to me. And that's where that turning point where it became so saturated has happened in my lifetime of being in the four-wheel driving industry, which is when I decided to stop.
Yeah.
Right? And the fact is, I get offered affiliate link opportunities a lot. And this is what I don't think is healthy.
Yeah.
If I'm promoting an affiliate link, that you can be sure as shit that I'm making no money out of that.
Yeah.
Whether it's a show link, whether it's a link with, Polaris or one of the people that I work with, I'm not getting a kickback out of that.
Yeah.
And I know that everybody's going to be like, but you're just getting paid in a different way. No. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not getting a kickback from that.
Yeah.
And the reality is that do I get offered the kickback? Yes. But what do I do in return? Or what do I do to flip that? This is what I do. I say to the brand, if you're going to give the customer 5% off and you're going to give me 5% off, or the customer 10% off and me 10% off, you obviously can afford 20% off.
Yeah.
You can obviously afford the 20% off. Just give it all to the customer.
Exactly.
Make that 20%. I don't want it. I don't want it. I want to be able to promote that affiliate link and say to the people, I've been able to get you 20% off. You know what I mean? The best discount I could possibly get for you. I'll get paid in the YouTube revenue when these nice people that love me go, oh, watch Bridget's video tonight. Yeah. That's right. I'll just make the money there. Just watch the videos. It's free. It doesn't hurt you. Watch the videos, and then Bridget makes money. You want to support me genuinely? Subscribe and watch the videos. It changes my life.
Yeah.
If I'm selling to you a product with a discount code attached to it, my wallet is not filling up.
Yeah.
And it's not how I want to fill it up. And it just adds to the authenticness, just like really meaning what you say a little bit.
I took the same approach with a brand that isn't signed on yet, but it's hopefully coming in the next few months and making its turns. I took that approach. I said, all right, let's run, because it was like, we're going to run it in stages. We want to see how good you can promote the product naturally, and then put you on like a discount code, and then look at sponsorship, and then look at bringing it part of a team, sort of like representing the brand of the brand, not through my brand for the brand. And I said to him, well, what if earlier we could set up a discount link where nothing goes to me, but the direct customer gets it, and it's just an easier way to track, am I actually bringing in sales for you? Am I bringing forth those people that want to be using your product that is there? And they were just like, what do you mean? I was like, well, if you can still give me a free product, and in the future there's that potential of a paid sponsorship up front where, we're running your signage everywhere, we're promoting the shit out of your product and doing all those sort of things, I don't need a $5 kickback for every item, or $100 kickback for every sale or whatever it might be, it doesn't help me because it's only, what's it this way? It's only minuscule to what the actual big goal of promoting that brand is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like now that Red Dirt is my own and I can finally do things truly how I want to do them, and it's not down to like, you know, the voting system of what's best for everybody. And that like, and obviously, you know, everybody's got to make money and eat and whatnot. Like I choose to live my life on such a simple level so that it can be affordable because I want to give back to the brand. But some people don't have that choice. Like I said, like if you've got a kid, come on.
Yeah.
Like you got to take care of your family. Like that makes so much sense. But now that things get to be, you know, and like I've been working with Polaris for years, right? They're one of the OGs and I love them. And you know, they offered to me a code and it was integrated into our agreement for me to use at a very specific time that was going to be most opportune for them. And they said that they would pay me, right? And, you know, flash forward 12 months later when I've grown the channel and I'm pushing and then now the channel is mine and I can do exactly what I want, how I want. Yeah. You know, not down to a voting system. And then, you know, I'm like, I don't want your money, Polaris. Like, don't give it to me. Chuck it back in and grow yourself or invest in your website or go to another full driving show. Like, take care of your own people because I'm sure, like, maybe this is a weak point for me as a business person. But I really do work with people that I genuinely like. I can call my sponsors as friends and be like, "This is what I've got. This business.
What's going on?
Yeah, well, I've got this. I've got this little trouble with the business. Like, what's your take on this? Like, what do I do here? What's your thought on that?" And I actually trust their advice as people because I know they're genuine people. And also, I can run their product on any car that I build because I know that if it was bought 100 times, it would run the mile 100 times. And it's just it. And to be fair, a lot of people in the industry are just like me. A lot, anyone that I know, actually. And you just hear the scary stories, and then you're just like, oh, just stay away from that. Yeah.
There are those out there, but it's interesting when you say like going either to that brand and saying like invest in this or relay information like this. I've had people that I've supported come to me and go, what's the best way about promoting this or, you know, extending this or changing this or vice versa, whatever the product or thing might be. And you just sort of just give you 2 cents, but then the same way they've come back and gone, like, what do you want to change? What do you want to see? Like, vice versa. And it goes both ways with a brand that really wants to work with you. But also when you've got a brand that you're working with and you're like, hey, let's make something unique. And I had this not too long ago, which I don't touch that brand anymore. I said, let's do this and integrate this as an option when, you know, someone buys something, you know, like say they use my code or link to buy something, give them something extra. So why would we do that? They're going to buy the product anyway. So, no. So not me.
Well, that's I completely like I can respect that it is hard because if sponsorship money paid the bills, you'd only ever have to have one sponsor. Like, why do you think you have to have multiple? Because you can't survive with just one.
If I had a sponsor come out and say, we're going to give you 150 grand a year, just only advertise us, fucking done.
Yeah, you'd be like, cool.
That'd be great.
Let's go. Yeah,
let's be realistically.
It's not like
what
that.
you may be getting, you know, $100 an episode for a podcast, or you know, you might get $5 grand a year from a company to go, hey, advertise this, I don't know, tray, suspension, bull bar, aerials, comms, electrical, fridges, whatever the fuck it is. They're not huge. People think they're making millions just because they're in front of a camera.
But that's the thing. It's like, and also you don't get paid the money up front.
No.
You don't get paid until you achieve the job. So you out of your own pocket have to front the cost. You've got a really good
term for this, and it's called like your deliverables.
Your deliverables, yeah. They're called deliverables. And to anybody that doesn't know what a deliverable is, but basically you have an agreed list of things that you need to do. So in my case, it's how many episodes a year do I have to make trying and testing the gear? That's it, right? And then you get paid. So obviously I break up all of the amount of content that I need to create in it, basically adventures and going on adventures and using the gear. I break it up so that I can do a few for each brand every month.
Yeah.
But I don't get paid unless I've achieved the job. I get paid after I've delivered.
Yeah.
So the upfront investment comes out of my pocket because I've got to go and pay to make the episode, pay to get it edited, pay to pay the staff, pay to pay me, and then achieve the job. And then the brand assesses the work, looks at the return, and then it's like, yep, happy gravy, no worries. Here's a small part of the money that we owe you. So it's like, it really is work, but that's why I can't preface enough that if somebody was to ever want to support the brand, watch and subscribe.
Yeah.
Because I
say that much.
When the brand became mine, we came into a new year.
Yeah.
Which was seemingly, the brand was mine way before, but we came into it, we were on approach to another, season
contractual
year. And when there's a new year, there's new contracts and there's new inflation and the cost of living goes up and the channel's bigger and then it's time for you to put your prices up. Did I? No. Maybe I'm the idiot. But
right now there is people listening to this going, Bridget, you're fucking with our affiliate links. You're fucking with our contracts and we're trying to get these sponsors and now you're saying we can't do that. And then you're giving them ideas and
I didn't.
It's being real. It's doing something different.
I didn't put the brands that I wanted to continue working with into a new year. I was like, another year, we've been together for a while now.
Yeah.
And thank you. And I love the gear and I know that the channel's gone up this much, but I'm not going to charge you for that.
Yeah.
If you want to stick around and keep going and do another big year, I'm going to do another big year and it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
And that's just because the best way to guilt-free way to make money is get YouTube to pay it to you.
Yeah.
It's a bottomless bucket of money.
It's almost like take it from, if you got a bloke with $1 billion, that 10 cents isn't going to hurt for every view.
Yeah.
You got a company that's just doing the bare minimum to support the company and you're just asking for maybe, let's say a free set of tyres or a sponsor set of tyres.
Yep.
That's a big deal to them. That's like a couple of $100 million to the billionaire.
But that's
if that makes sense.
It makes so much sense. And that's another thing that
I'm not saying go after the biggest company because they got the most money.
For sure.
They're not dumb. They're not just going to go, oh, this guy can take 50 grand.
But that's another thing that I had to think about and think through as a person is, coming into a 2024, when I was having discussions about 2024 before it had kicked off, I knew that there was 2 more cars coming to the show, that these brands, we've got to get, me and them, we've got to get their gear on the car and develop these cars using their gear. So of course I wasn't like, oh, it's triple the price. I was like, there's 2 cars being developed. When does that get put into the ratio perspective of how much money that it costs even for them, So I think it's got to be, the best way to handle sponsorship is you need to just really make sure that you love the product.
Yep.
And you need to be authentic about that. And that's the best way to go forward. And if you're doing it for a cash grab, it does not last long.
No.
It does not last long. You need to, it doesn't make them any money. It doesn't make you any long-term money. It's not the way to do it. You just need to love the gear, learn, if you haven't had the opportunity to have the gear, which I didn't have that, I was lucky that was able to have it for a while, but make sure you love it and then tell your audience about it.
Yeah.
Don't get paid and then tell your audience about it. That's a no-no from me.
It comes back to that term sellout, which is, it's hard because if you genuinely believe in the brand, I don't believe it's called selling out, but if I had a brand come to me and say, here's 50 grand, advertise this product, and I blatantly lied through my teeth that this is the best product ever, whatever it is, and just took that money, the only person that wins is me in a way.
Yeah,
and yes and no, because at the end of the day, it's going to backfire somewhere down the line.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. And it's really nice to be in the position that I'm in because I now get the choice and putting my green tick of approval and being like, who do I want to be with and who do I want to work with? You know, and one of those factors comes with there's someone that I'm working with that is not public.
Yeah.
I'm working with the gear and I'm working with them and no one will know, and it's not for the money. It's well, there is no money coming, but it's like it's just to make sure that the gear is what I think it's going to be before I tell anybody about it. That's the way to do it. Yeah. Essentially, I've just admitted to working for free for someone for 6 months.
Yeah.
But that's what I should do. I should make sure that the gear is right, and the trust is earned with the audience. It doesn't just get given to you. Trust is earned.
Yeah.
And that's why you'll see the same gear. Like I know that 23-0 and Toyo tires, like they're two great examples.
Yeah.
Anyone that I work with is a great example, but they're going to be on any car that I build and develop.
Yeah.
And whether it's for driving or whether it's for touring. But that is just because I just know how much my Toyo tires have gotten me through.
Yeah.
And how much my 23-0 rooftop tent has bared the grunt that I have put it through in the -12 to the searing hot outback. I have used the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And if it's survived for me, which I'm pushing it to hit its limit and I can't, there's no one that could break it.
It's true because like I said sort of a similar thing earlier, like if you can't break it, then you know it's going to be good for everyone else.
Yeah.
And it's like it comes across like people will see me on my ute change camping and canopy setups all the time. There's very few things you won't see me change. And one, suspension, my tray.
We're going to debate about this with our suspension
bar,
people.
But there's so many things that like, especially my tray, like great example is I went and bought a tray with, at the time when I first got the ute, no intentions of sponsors, affiliates, anything like that. Bought a tray off a bloke who didn't necessarily have a company, a brand or anything. There was no logo. It was just, I bought it off him off Gumtree. And he was meant to build that tray for his ute. I said, I need a ute tray. Can I buy it off you? He's like, yeah, well, I've got this new one being built. Do you want it? I was like, what are the size dimensions? Worked out perfect. It was just a tradie tray. And then because of that, I seen there's a gap. Like people are like, I can't find a tray to be built. There's such a big wait time on all these big companies. I'm like, I paid $5,000, fitted, painted, everything for this tray that I got, fortunately, within like a week or two. I was like, go see this guy. And then I just started promoting him for free. And he didn't expect it. He didn't ask for it, nothing. And like we just grew a relationship. And then like now 2 years on, he's like, hey man, I appreciate everything. Now he's running a business. He's got his logo. He's got his brand there. He's like, can we do you a new tray? Sweet, sure.
Fantastic.
But it's just one of those things that you build that connection over years of doing it.
And this is what people don't get to don't see. And maybe it's just because I should articulate it more. Maybe now I can. But you know, like I could spitfire so many examples, and I'm going to say brand names. But it's the truth. Razorback, great example. Yeah. I've been with Razorback for a hot minute.
Yeah.
But why do you think that we only just went live with the red dirt Razorback seat covers? Because I needed to sit my ass in it.
Yeah.
Wet, salty, wetsuit, dirty, hot, cold.
Yeah. For
a long enough period of time for me to be sure that I and them, we got it right. And we did. So I'm more than happy for people to have it. And that took time. And with anybody that I work, you know, our phone call conversations, we're very honest with each other and we want what's best for the customer service. Can we get into customer service for a second?
Yeah, that's a huge one.
That's a huge one.
And
I'm an influencer.
I've been speaking about this.
Yeah. I'm an influencer, so I'm going to say what everybody wants me to say.
Yeah.
Right? Do influencers... It's funny we're going to wrap this podcast up, but here we go.
We were about like, what, half an hour?
Yeah, we were about to. But let's get this one out because this is important, right?
Yeah.
The question, do influencers get special treatment because they're influencers?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
That makes me livid.
Yep.
It was not that long ago that I was just a consumer, that I watched. Right? I still watch, but I used to follow Explore Life. I wasn't on it. I was like, you got to understand, I was just like everybody that's listening, watching, right? Not that long ago. I had my 9 to 5, I saved my pennies, and I bought my shit because I saw people trying and testing it, and I thought that it would be for me. And the I genuinely, I would love to know, but nobody that I work with has shitty customer service. And there was one time, my audience was coming to me in my DMs for a while saying, hey, Bridge, I'm not going to say who it is because
I remember you telling me who it was.
It's not my job. It's not my, it's not about that. It's about the story. It's not about who the brand is specifically. Sorry for everyone that really wants me to say it, but
it's about being a better person.
Yes. My audience was coming to me, messaging me honestly and saying, hey, Bridge, I bought this thing from X brand and I'm just missing like a little tiny little piece of the bracket that just must have not been packed, or I'm having an issue with it, or something's right. And, or even just like, I just want to get in contact with them because I want to see if I can return it to get it in another color, whatever. So much innocence in their desires to get in contact with the brand. And then the final sentence will say something like, it's been 3 months and I can't get an email reply, or I can't get them to answer the phone, or I can't get them to reply back to my DMs. And it was about this brand that I used to work with a while ago. And I was having to go into bat for my fans and be like, hey guys, like this fan just needs this little thing sort of figured out, or it needs this, nothing wrong. Like it wasn't like the gear's shit or anything like that. Not at all.
But mistakes happen.
Yeah, mistakes happen. And like, or people just want to do a return for another color or whatever.
Yeah.
Customer service lines are there to be answered.
Yeah.
That's the point, right? And my guys and girls following couldn't get a hold of this, seemingly from the people that were coming to me, couldn't get a hold of them. And I didn't like that the customer service wasn't there because I was getting fabulous treatment.
Yeah.
They would call me if I needed, it was answer if I needed, sorry. I was getting fabulous treatment. And then, then you get the big question of, do influencers get a certain type of treatment that the general public doesn't get? And yes, that's the case. Yeah. So will I promote someone that's doing that? No. That's why I'm not sponsored by this person anymore, because I was like, contract's at an end, let's leave it be, and that's that, right? Yeah. And that's okay too. And this is the thing, had I ever said that? No. No one would ever know. But it's just the types of conversations I'm having in DMs with the people that are genuinely going and buying the stuff.
And I've seen it firsthand from both sides, like the people that are, their customer service is above and beyond. And I've had conversations where I've walked in there just as a friendly, g'day, what's going on, guys? Like, how are you? They'll come out. Everyone will shake your hand and just go, hey, mate, how you going? It won't go any further than that. It's just, hey, like, good to see you again. And they'll stop talking to me because a customer walks in the door and they go, sorry, we're going to take this. Fucking oath, man. Do your job. And the respect of that, it doesn't affect me at all because I know someone is getting that appreciation that I've already received multiple times over. That hopefully now they're creating a customer that's a lifelong supporter.
Yep, absolutely.
And if I can't contact a brand or call them about a simple issue myself as a consumer, I don't want to be promoting that to someone who is not in that same position. Like, I want to be able, and I've done it before, and I think I might have told you or some other people, there's people I've called that are just like, no, sorry, fuck off. And you're like, noted.
Yeah, noted. And you don't ever forget it. And like, like, again, data, a bit of data and a bit of facts that the Australian turnover of vehicles being turned over, like getting a new vehicle, is like 4.5 years.
Yeah.
In the full driving industry in Australia, it drops down drastically. Oh, that's right. Sorry, it's 4.5 years. The average turnover of vehicles, leases ending, new cars being purchased, 4.5 years. In the full driving industry, it drastically drops down to 2.5 to 3 years. Yep. Now, I think that's because the cars get used and abused. They do get totaled and whatever.
Case, towing,
100%, right? But, and this is the research that, like, me working with brands that we go into and we talk about is like, if that is the Australian turnover of four-wheel driving vehicles, it is in your best interest to provide a great service with a good quality product that lasts, right? And then when their car turns over 2.5 to 3 years later, they will be your customer on their next car and on the next car and on the next set of tires and in the next, GPS system and the next radio and the next engine. Get me?
Yeah.
So I did it. My first four-wheel driver had their gear that's a bit of a stretch. Most of it. Yeah. But my second, and then going on to the 4 drives, then the gear was coming, and it's on the next car, and on the next car, and the next car.
Yeah.
And if it's lasting for me, I mean, if it's lasting for me, and the shit gets thrashed.
Yeah.
In the hot and in the cold, day after day after day, with very little downtime for servicing. And I'd be honest, if I had to service gear, like if I was having to tighten the bolts of my, custom bar work or my rooftop tent, I'd tell you. I'm not, because it's fine.
Yeah.
And that's just it. That's just it. So it's like, make good gear, and I don't know how, like, the details of how other influencers are working with brands. Maybe they're nothing like me, or maybe they're even more like me. But obviously that's private to them and stuff like that. But this is what I'm like.
Yeah.
And my relationship with the brands, the honest, abuse on gear and what's actually happening.
Yeah.
The brands like it. Like, and I just think I think the audience appreciates it more so too. It's better for everybody.
Definitely.
Just fucking tell the truth.
And you know what's crazy is, like, Kings.
Yeah.
Like Adventure Kings gear.
Mm-hmm.
Cheap, knockoff gear, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the stuff that I've bought out of that shop is fucking phenomenal. And there is some stuff that is piles of shit. But it's taking me time to, like, work through, figure out what deal didn't work, and it is cheap. But when you can go buy, say, a fridge, for an example, if you're a weekend warrior that just needs a beat up fridge for work and go away to a weekend trip, why spend $1,500+ on the best range of fridge when you can buy something that isn't going to be the end of the world, that might cost you $300
100%.
and is going to get you through with what you need to do.
100%.
And it's you still get 5-year warranty with them.
Yeah, 100%.
So why not? But, like, I'm not saying it's the best brand to go with. Like, if you're living out of that thing, you want something that's going to be reliable and stick you through. And I've gone through, like, multiple different swags, and I've found my swag that suits, which is just a Frontier swag. I fucking love that thing.
Yeah.
But there's different swags out there now in the market that you're coming up with, like the blow-up swags and the inflatable swags and all that. I'm keen to try them, but I'm like, I like this swag I've put through torture and hell, and it hasn't broken. And then I hear things about, like, inflatable swags, what if they get popped?
Yeah.
Which has happened.
Yeah, yeah.
And I go,
I've seen it.
Like, that's an inconvenience. If I'm on the road for 6 weeks and...
Frontier Lines is another really... I don't work with Frontier Lines, but I know Paul, and...
is it Toddy and Ryan there now too? And,
he is from Day Dot.
Yeah.
Okay. Before Ryan was involved, but Paul always from day one. When I have R&D tested stuff for them.
Yeah.
And he is another great example of someone that's a big advocate of, if it breaks, it's all good.
Yeah.
You don't have to hide it. That means that we need to make an edit.
Means something needs to be changed.
And it means something needs to be changed. And he's another really good example of someone that's super authentic. And that's why, even though I don't work with him anymore, because obviously that would be a bit of a like, I've never been paid by him, but a bit of a clash, because obviously I've been with 23-0 for so long. But I have so much respect for him, even as a businessman and as a friend, and I mean that as a businessman, because he's a really good example of everybody's got to be on their L's. Gear's got to be on their L's as well. That's why you never buy first generation of a vehicle. You let them get all of their mistakes out, and then you go and you jump in the second time around. So in my case, that's what I've been doing, and I know I whether people believe it or not, that the sponsorships on my end are really, really authentic. They are, and they're super thought through, and
it comes through. It's natural.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so, and even more so now.
Yeah.
But and that's another thing. You talked about price point before with Kings. Okay. Think about the touring vehicle, the four-wheel driving vehicle, and the weekend warrior.
Yeah.
If I to be with one brand on all three of those cars, obviously there's going to be different gear built for different, whether it's, suspension gear that's dedicated for hardcore wheeling, or suspension that needs remote res because you're going to go on corrugations.
Yeah.
Or suspension that's got to be a bit more budget friendly because it's going on the Weekend Warrior. You'll see that on Red Dirt in 2024.
Yeah.
And the variety of gear that I've chosen that I think that actually suits the purpose of that car well. Yeah. And let's see if it lasts.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really like the 3 different vehicles on Red Dirt because I think that it's going to show a perspective from one brand shown in 3 different ways.
Yeah.
How does it perform?
Yeah.
How does it perform? And I really like that. I'm keen to see. Well, I know how the years unfolded because I have it's in my brain because I've seen the episodes. But
it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I really look forward to the audience seeing it. But these are all the little business details and behind the scenes that's like, there's so much more, isn't there? There's so much more that goes into your operation, my operation, than what people realize.
Always, yeah.
Always. So much more.
Yeah.
So people, and I say this for you as well, but people listening and sharing this podcast to their friend or somebody that you think would find this interesting, it makes a massive difference.
Yeah.
For Mr. Quinn Living, it really does.
Oh,
and,
yeah, huge.
And also, too, it's free to listen. It's free to share it. It's free to put it on your story. It's free to send it to your mate.
Yeah.
And likewise with my YouTube channel, it makes what all we could ever ask is that you watch, listen, and enjoy it.
And everyone says it: like, subscribe, comment, especially for Spotify and stuff. The things that matter on Spotify is if you download the episode. That's actually
didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you go in
I download all your episodes because I listen to them in the middle of nowhere. There's no service.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a big thing too. But if you have all the episodes automatically downloaded, it shows up better in our ratings.
Wow.
And if you rate it 5 stars, which isn't an option to do on YouTube, you can't go rate someone's channel 5 stars.
Yeah.
And those things boost us more than just listening to an episode.
Absolutely.
Which is crazy. Like, it sounds so typical to go, hey, follow us, rate us 5 stars, give us a like and a comment and subscribe. But it's sort of corny to say every episode, but it's like, if you don't do that and you support those people, you're supporting them without giving any benefit to them. And it's not saying that we need that, but it's, if you genuinely want to see us, people say to us like, oh, we need more content, we need more content. Subscribe, like, comment, do all that shit, and we're going to do it more.
That lets me. And that's it.
And
it's like
firsthand of us seeing it.
All these hours that we've been sitting down unpacking everything to do with podcasting, YouTube business, influencers, all of it.
Camera.
Okay, go and flip it. I was just saying my last thing for a good little wrap up.
We're shooting through the batteries.
We're doing such a good job though. Like, we're killing it. Yeah. You have 2 episodes.
Oh, easily. I'll have something else.
Yeah, but you've got to crop it though, don't you? This is what I mean. If this microphone is still recording, you and I, we really are actually just great friends. That we could just sit down and talk till the cows come home and the sun sets. We've done it 1,000,000 times over.
It's hard to do.
It's hard to do. You and I together, we're a good little recipe, hey?
Yeah. We could almost leave these little bits in because if people see this. Oh, yep, we're running the podcast again.
Yeah.
We still don't have a team running this. It's just us.
It's just us.
I'm controlling TV, the soundboard, the computer, the camera.
I know. This is meant for me being the guest spot because I see you on the controls. I see you doing everything and I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And it's actually just really nice
like
to be the guest.
Which would be last episode.
Yeah.
First part of this is we got our mystery man that's coming to help us now. Which takes a little bit off me that I don't have to worry about like the camera 100%. Or the TV or soundboard.
100%.
It helps us connect easier.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I was saying before is if you're a supporter or you just want to see this podcast go further, like what you said, the rating it, the downloading it, it costs nothing, just a tiny little bit of time.
Yeah.
But it makes such a big difference for more episodes to come out, and it's the exact same with the YouTube episode. And after all this time of talking, and me being like, please go and follow, please go and subscribe, please go and follow the pages on Facebook and YouTube, all of it, because it helps me. Do you know what also does help me? People that buy merch, and not one time in this whole podcast have I promoted it. Because what does that do? That requires people to have to go and spend money. If you want to, amazing. I appreciate you for it.
Yeah. It's a little extra bonus.
What I really urge, because it is free and it takes nothing from you that makes me feel bad, is please just watch and follow our stuff. And it's already changed my life.
Yeah.
And I want to see it go bigger and further. So if everybody could do that to both of us, I would thank you for it. And I'll give you a cuddle when I see you.
But it's a cool thing to be able to stand out. Like, how many times do you walk around and, like, especially for podcasting stuff at the moment, like, there's alpha blokes everywhere. Like, they've just done a good job of spreading their merchandise. Same as Mac and Maddie, all those boys. You see someone wearing your merch, you're going to go, fuck yeah, that guy's a fan.
I know.
I don't want people to have to buy that to get that sense from me. Like, if you come up with or without the merch, I'm still going to respect you.
Oh, yeah.
But
for sure.
If I've had people, like, send me stickers, because I just give out, like, little stickers everywhere. And people will, like, send me a photo of a sticker on someone's car. I don't even know whose car it is. And they're like, oh, there's your sticker. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, dude, where's that? He's like, oh, it's in the middle of bloody Whoop Whoop in New South Wales. I'm going, fuck. Like, and it's just those cool little things where you're like, holy shit, like, that name that I've built myself is getting out there and it's getting around.
And that's it. It's like,
seeing it.
I am quite reserved and take a pause and take a think before I promote anything that requires the person listening to have to spend cash on it. That is why I am very gentle, like, about, you know, that the brand does have a collection that I put a lot of love into it. But if it's for you and you want it, I'm so happy for you. I loved it when I made it for you, and I'll pick and pack it for you. But if the money is too tight, it's totally fine. Thing that I appreciate even more is sharing the show around to people that you think might like it too, or might need a little bit of, you know, an inspirational kick or a bit of motivation or a little bit of excitement. Watch less of Netflix, more of YouTube, and just come and enjoy. But yeah, I think I've said it like 100 bloody times. I'm getting annoyed at my own self saying it. But I can't ever look at the audience like that they're just ATMs to me. It makes, I have to meet them in person. Right. I have to meet them in person, and, like, I feel bad, you know, if I'm just like, oh, you're going to make me money. Nah, no chance. It's like when I pick and pack orders online. I got myself into trouble so many times because I pick and pack orders online because I want to be able to, like, write them a note and, like, whatever. And I know I'm just, like, spreading myself so thin, trying to do a little bit of everybody's job so that I'm involved in anything the audience can get their hands on, whether it's the edit, the episode, or even a piece of merch. I'm like, I want to write them a note. And then I'm like, oh, we'll just give them a free hat, and we'll just give them a free jumper, and we'll just give them and like, people know it. If you see me pick and pack orders online, I end up giving all the free shit away because I just love and appreciate the fact that someone has spent money, holy cow, on me. I just don't see myself as that important. So I'm like, you need to feel important. So I need to give you everything when I meet you. I need to make the episodes amazing as often as possible, make the merch fantastic, and make you feel like that you're a part of someone that actually gives a serious care about you.
Because we just sort of, like, only just opening up our store for, like, the parts and bringing merchandise and stickers and banners, all the general stuff that people will put up there. I went to Andre and I said, let's do a thing where every 50 orders, someone gets a full refund or 50% off their order.
That's cool.
That order, some of the parts on that website, you buy a bull bar, complete bull bar kit or a fiberglass panel kit, that could be a couple of $grand.
That's cool.
It's not as much an incentive. It's just like, we appreciate that the chance that we can give back to one person that is helping out.
Can I take that idea?
Sure.
I really like that. So
I didn't come up with that idea either.
Oh, okay. No. Yeah, so, credit to whoever came up with it. But that's really cool of you. I love that.
Also, in the same sense, following up with that, every single order that is over $1, so if it's $1.50, we're going to donate $1 of that order to a charity, whatever it is. We're still yet to decide on a charity. We're like, all right, every 50 orders, we'll just draw a random order number, which is so easy. You just put in 1 to 50, select that order number group. This person's getting 50% back or their money back or whatever it might be, or give them some free items. Or who knows? There's just so many limits with that. But not trying to go down the route of, you know, buy 4 shirts, get 1 free, or like buy this, win a car. Like, Mac's doing a really good job of buy a shirt, go in the draw, win a giveaway car. Fucking awesome, because it's a similar sense but a much larger scale. But I was like, how can I bring it in to a smaller startup audience where I'm not incentivizing them to buy something, it's just to give back that if they're fortunate enough, they get that win of the order number. So I was like, why not?
Yeah. Could you imagine? Like, I get you. Buy a shirt and win a car.
Yeah.
I will never be. It's just not. It's not. I don't. I'm not.
Work.
I'm not a car build. I'm a car builder. It's just not like the show. Yeah. So like there'll be elements of like how I put the car together on the show for sure.
Yeah.
Or any of the cars, but like it's an adventure. There's two types of shows in my opinion. This is how I built it, and this is how I use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out on the track or in the garage.
Yeah.
And I'm just an out on the track person. Now, look, if I was to be like my used and abused car, well, it's not abused. Like my car is so highly maintained, as I'm sure all of them are. So like anybody that would ever have the opportunity to own my Hilux or own the 105 or own the like any other cars to come, I know that it'd be a car that nothing would break because it's all got all the gear on it that I trust. But I just wouldn't do that. It's just not. I'll leave that to the big boys that build cars and want to give them away. Yeah. I don't want to sell or like buy a shirt and win a car. It's just not. I'm just really, really, really focused on the travel and on the wheeling.
Yeah. And there's also a big risk in that involved. Like I could go out tomorrow and go, look, you can win my 79 series if you buy a shirt. If I sell 6 shirts, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
There's a big risk there, and that's knowing your audience and who's actually going to buy it.
I do recognize I've been offered money for the N70, and I can't do that.
Yeah,
like that's not. I think I don't know, but I think if I was to, that car, it is a bit of a clouty car, and I feel like every girl and their sister would buy a shirt to get that car.
Yeah,
and a couple of blokes.
Yeah. I'd probably buy a shirt.
Yeah.
Win a free Hilux.
Yeah, win a free Hilux. But I just wouldn't do that. I think the car giveaways are so cool. Imagine being the person that gets to win. Life-changing potentially.
But then you've also got to be scared of the fact, what if the person wins this car, can't use the car, or isn't going to appreciate the car? Or
Like what happened to not LMCT. What happened to
the
house? The blockhouse. That's it. LMCC.
Same thing. Yeah. You've won a, what was it, $4.3 million house, and they're complaining about some, what was it, like furniture, promotional products that were inside the house. It's like
the dog bowl, mate.
You've just, dog food and shit they were complaining about, and candles. And I'm like, you've won a $4.3 million house and you're pissing up the wall about something. I think
it was in their
$20 ticket.
It's in their T's and C's. Like it was stated. Like it's the way that it is. But
like, bro, if I win a $4.3 million house and it's got a pool and it comes with no water, I'm not going to be fucking complaining about it. You know what? Let's call up a water truck and get a bloody pool filled. Like,
I got nothing against them. I think that they're great and they change someone's life or change someone's year. It's just not my business model.
No. And there are people doing it like Adrian and Troy.
Yeah.
And I look at a few people in the States that I watch for content that do that just naturally.
Yeah.
Is like Diesel Brothers, Seaboys TV, Cletus McFarlane.
Yeah.
They build a truck on Heavy D. They've got a channel where it's like their garage. They build trucks and cool stuff and do a giveaway. They put that truck into the next 5 videos and do recoveries and show what it can do and promote that truck, and it's kind of cool. And then they'll go, anyone that ordered off the site in the last 3 months, you're going to be entered. So it's not like enter and then you win the truck. It's, if you've bought something in the last 3 months, it could be 50 people, it could be a couple of million people. You're going to go in the draw to win that truck. So it's almost like not advertising that way, even though they do. It's, if you've ordered something, you're in the draw. It's cool. They do it so naturally.
Yeah.
In a way where it's not pushed. And like you look at Sam, Mac, TJ, Maddie, they're breaking the surface of that now. Like Mac Preston's built that Ranger. It's still like a very nice functional car. They're taking up Fraser Island. They're showing what it can do, but I think there's almost that worry that, is someone going to win this car that they're worried, has it been abused? Is it? But I go, it's a free car. Like if you don't want to sell it,
it's hard to answer that in that like I hate to speak on behalf of people, but like everybody that you just said, I know, like, and I've known for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I've been in their garages, I've seen their cars, like I've seen the way the cars are put together, and I know who they are in their moral capacity as people. Like I'm talking Maddie from Explore, Mac Preston, Sam, like all of them. Like I know. We're talking about car giveaway people. We all know them. I know those people. I'm pretty sure everybody I know.
Yeah.
And I can vouch that those cars are well built. A lot of love went
100%.
into them, well maintained, and proud to have it live a whole nother big life with a new owner and creating memories for someone else, all because they bought a shirt. And I love that positivity and I love that output. And I think that's so amazing. And I really, really, really do like that. And I'm so proud of all of those people doing that. I just like people will be like, why don't you do it? If it's just not my business model. It's not, I'm not here to build cars and give them away. I'm just here to grow the fleet and put the fleet into different corners of the country and then go and attack the track. Basically.
I think we're like those boys, they're stuck in that middle ground of buying an item, and it's the same as like Troy and Adrian with LMTC Plus. It's a subscription based or a one-off entry or something, but the pure aesthetics of it is they put a car up for a giveaway. You either buy a one-off ticket for it or you spend $100 a month and get entered into every single giveaway. There's a difference, but you know exactly what you're entering when you do it. And it's much like gambling, going on the pokies, all that sort of stuff. You still got to understand, if I'm going in the pokies with $50, there's a good chance I'm going to lose it. One time that I win is amazing, but how many times are you going to lose? It's, I'm not saying a
but
bad
at least,
thing or good thing,
because what the boys aren't doing is that they're not promoting gambling though. You're getting something for your $50.
Something in return. Which that's where LMTC Plus is not necessarily getting something in return every time. And it's, I don't know.
But again, different business models. So we're talking about, Sam Miles. Like Sam Miles was the first person to give away a car in the industry. Like Sam Miles started the car giveaways in this specific industry. He kicked it off. There was some other people I recognize that did it just before him, but I'm talking Sam. I believe that Sam Miles created the ridiculous hype,
the model for it in Australia,
the ridiculous hype and how good it could do. And then he went and documented the person winning it, this wasn't something that, there was some four-wheel drive giveaways that happened way back in the day. And then they ended up on a current affair because the person never got the car a year later, right? So like Sam did a really, really, really good job of taking a risk, giving away a car, documenting it, and then everyone just wanted to start doing it. They were like, wow, that was epic. It's great content for the show. It's really good for the website. It's great, and it helps the business develop. So I think that I got a lot of respect for the fact that Sam kicked it first, because it's hard to do it first, hey? And now it's this really, really good thing that does really well for people. And a lot of the people that are building cars, like I said, I know the cars. They're not weak or shit or terribly put together vehicles. They're vehicles to be proud of. And I'm really happy for the boys. I really, really am.
Well, it's like,
and maybe someone like Bree with her building the cars, trying and testing.
Business model for it.
She's got the type of business model to be like, okay, well, I built it. I tested it on the property. It's only got 5,000 to 10,000 Ks on it. So AKA it's a new fucking vehicle. And she should give it away. Like that's,
and the way
that's
she's
the
going, it doesn't have to be a car.
Bree, if you're listening to this, I hope she hasn't told me that's what she was going to do, but like,
hope you haven't spoiled something.
I haven't spoiled something. Yeah. But like, she's got the foundations for that, know, and she's
spread that market wider of she's going to be doing mountain biking. So there's mountain bike or gear or motorbikes.
And she always was more
is.
mechanical than me. Like I always was the one that wanted to just like go away every week and just like see Australia and be like, encouraging people to go out there and like, you got to see this place and it's unreal and this is how we did it. But Brie always frothed spinning spanners, always. Okay. And that was the indifference that we had. So she's got a great business model to be giving away a car. Not me, not me. And I know like I don't have the paperwork of a mechanic, but neither does Brie, but also neither does Mac Preston and neither does Sam. But some people are just destined for that and do a really good job in it. I just want to hit the tracks and I want to fill the tracks with more people and I want to see more four drives on the road. and people enjoying Australia, you know, and spending their annual leave and seeing Australia really, really is my favorite country because I believe that we have everything. We've got the red centre, we've got massive sand dunes, we've got deserts, we've got Great Barrier Reef, we've got snow, we've got rainforest, we've got canyons, we've got the Blue Mountains, we've got everything. Yeah. Like we are so lucky. We've got the widest beaches in the world. We've got islands. Like the list doesn't stop. Like I can keep going if you want me to.
No, there's heaps.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like it is so fantastic. And I believe that an adventure is really felt when driven.
Yeah.
Really felt when you drive it, when you earn it, when you put together the car and you drive the kilometers, right? And your eyes had to stay open. You had to and get yourself there. I remember the first time that I drove myself to Ayers Rock.
Yeah.
Or Uluru, sorry.
I was about to ask, have you done like Think or anything like that? To go out there, it's a 24-hour drive, basically.
Yeah.
To go out there and it feels like you're in a different continent.
Yeah.
It's insane.
The most meaningful, someone asked me this question on Instagram, what's the most meaningful moment in your last 10 years? That was the question for the pod, right? The answer is so fucking perfect, what I'm talking about. I wanted to go and see Uluru. I had seen it before, yes, but like flying there and school stuff. I wanted to go there myself. I wanted to go camping. I wanted to walk around it, and I wanted to build the car to get me there, and I wanted to do it. And I wanted to do it alone. I wanted to do a solo trip because I was at the age, I was a young girl. The idea of hitting the road alone scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, and I didn't have a boyfriend. And I was like, how am I going to go? Like I was talking to my brother being like, will you come with me? And he was like, no, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I've got to wait until I get a boyfriend and then maybe he'll have a 4-drive and then maybe I can save up and then we can go. And I was like, what am I doing? I was like, why aren't I going? And I legitimately sat there and I said, and I wrote it down. I said, why won't I do this? Why am I talking myself out of this?
Yeah.
Point number 1, I'm scared that I don't have the mechanical experience to take care of myself. Point number 2, I'm scared of being alone for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And point number 3, if it all goes pear-shaped and I want to cut and run home, I'm multiple days of driving away that I can't get home till sundown, and that makes me nervous.
Yeah.
The abort, you know, when anything feels safe because I could just run from here. I didn't have that option.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I need to learn how to take care of a car and to learn to be comfortable to go on a solo travel alone. Just requires you to have to do it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to do it. And I started driving out there and I was so scared. So scared. The first night I only camped like 2 hours from home and I was like, I feel safe because at least I could get home if I needed to.
Yeah.
But the further I drove, I was so afraid. And when I got to the point where I knew I was a far enough distance away from home that I couldn't turn around and just bundy 10 hours to get home, I was like, I need to decide to keep going from here.
Yeah.
I end up doing the drive. I end up getting out there. I pull up the handbrake for the last time. I'm in the car park at Ayers Rock.
Yeah.
And I get out of the car and I sit on my bull bar and I sat there and I just fucking looked at it.
Yeah.
And I just was like, I did that.
Yeah.
No man, I not a lot of money, not a lot of skill, and I did that. I did this for myself.
Yeah.
And I became so addicted to the feeling of knowing that I could do it on my own. And then I realized also through these processes that Australia is stunning.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to be able to see all of it. And I love that I don't need anyone else to go and see all of it anymore. So I just kept doing it. And then in all of these travels, I started to look up and I started to be like, where are the women?
Yeah.
Where are the women? And, you know, piece by piece and my life nudging me, look where I ended up.
Yeah.
You know? So I know I've segued us, but the car giveaway is a great business model for them.
Yeah.
But a great business model for me is tell everybody to get out and go and see yourself and go and drive it. And adventures are truly felt when you really, really, really drive it. I mean that.
It's true. Like my kick to say I want to live this lifestyle, not so much be a content creator, but my kick to go, this is what I want to do with my life was Cape York last year. I was like, I fucking love this lifestyle. Living out of a single swag on the road for 6 weeks straight.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Like, granted, a couple of stops at like Airlie Beach and that, why not? But just living that lifestyle out of the car, I had everything set up. Like, that was probably one of my favorite setups. No rooftop tent. It was just a swag, canopy, fridges, freezers, everything. And I just hit the road and went.
The best.
It was unreal.
Best
and then
feeling.
When I got back, I was like, why don't I do that more?
Yeah.
Because it was something that everyone wants to do, but it was like, oh, what were my excuses? And I was like, I've got work and bills and all that sort of stuff, which matter. When you're 6, at the time, that was 6 weeks on the road, out of my own pocket, savings, everything. It was like, not cheap.
Not cheap.
And breakages that were unprepared for. Like, I think it was $2,500 in breakages on that trip.
Yep, been there.
That sucked.
Yep.
And then so I was just like, that wasn't a cheap trip. And then when the opportunity came up this year to go like, hey, let's go to Cape York again, but there's a twist. 1 car, 7 blokes.
Yeah.
I was like, it's going to cost us next to nothing.
Yeah.
It was a budget trip.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a kicker. There's no swags. I was like, fuck. That was the thing that scared me the most.
Yeah.
I was like,
and
hey,
it was great.
Fun.
And it was
like,
great.
The best thing ever. But it also taught me to appreciate, like, I'm taking a swag next trip.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
But,
and that's just it. It's like, it is a really addictive lifestyle.
Yeah.
And and also too, what have you got to lose? If you want to try it and you're like, oh, I don't really want to build a car, I don't really want to invest in all this big way, and then decide that I don't like it, that's cool. Hire a 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Go over to Exmouth, hire a 4-wheel drive for a week with a mate and just go and test it out for yourself.
Yeah.
And tell me, you can have waterfront views every night if you want.
Yeah.
You can be where you want, do where you want. And as a woman, it has given me the most empowered feeling in such a male industry, knowing that I can do it. And it's not because of my boyfriend's wallet or I'm sitting in his passenger seat or a guy's built the car. No, I did it.
Yeah.
And if I could have every young girl and guy feel what I feel, I guarantee you the industry would quadruple. So I'll just keep running that content until enough people see it.
In respect to the people that just are doing content for nothing besides themselves, they're not, no matter how hard they go, they could have all the sponsors in the world. And I see these people and I watch them, I just go, fucking good on you. Like, they're doing awesome content. They've got heaps of followers, loads of engagement. They've got no sponsors, no followers, nothing. It's just them. They're working like a mining job or something like that, or an online business. They're just living.
I know, and you probably think that I hear that, and then I'm like, I'm so jealous. I would love to do that. I just really actually have no qualms with the people that I work with.
Yeah,
I just.
And it is. Yeah, it's that bonus.
I guarantee none of them are listening, but that's not the point. It's like, it's just.
But one day they will.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Actually, this podcast's gone viral, mate. Everyone's listening to this one.
Bro, we're 5.5 hours in.
I know. Well, I think that's a really good thing to end on. That it's like, it really is addictive, and go out and try for yourself. And you don't need to film it. You don't need to do it for likes. You don't need to do it for attention. Just go out and do it for yourself, and go and support your show and my show, because it makes a big difference for us going forward.
Yeah.
We both really mean that. I know you do too. And we hope that you guys enjoyed this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Bridget. Everyone's sick of me. They're like, don't have her on for another 5 years.
No, do you have anyone you want to shout out, or yourself?
I've sort of done it along the way.
Yeah.
My parents, my family, the people in the Red Dirt team. The people in the Red Dirt team, guys.
That's something I want. I want a team.
Yeah, the people in the Red Dirt team. Take my hat off to every single one of you. I could name you by name. Jai, Mitch, Brody, Alana. Like, you guys are you guys are so important to the brand, and they don't get a round of applause like I do.
Yeah.
And so this is my chance to give them a round of applause. And do you know who else doesn't get a round of applause often? The bloody audience. So I'd like to give my thanks to them for everything that they've done in my life. And let's kick 2024 in a huge way. God, I'm excited. Yeah.
If you're listening to this, screenshot it if you got this far and tag both of us on social.
Let's go like this, so then we know that they've screenshotted the right moment. Screenshot the right moment.
Screenshot it now.
Nice.
If you're listening, it's just going to be a screen.
If you're listening, then you have no idea.
Yeah. Unreal. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having
talking.
me.
This
I loved
is bloody unreal.
I had so much fun, bro.
That was good.
That was easy, mate. I don't know what I was so nervous about.